Dugubo stared at the enormous earth dragon golden gourd before him, then at the ordinary-sized bamboo shoots in Wang Li's arms, and hesitated. So how do I eat this gourd? Do I just bite into it raw? How long will that take? Dugu Yan glanced at the immortal herb scroll and said, Grandpa, you should eat it directly. The scroll says immortal herbs are basically energy condensed to the extreme. Once eaten, they revert to energy, so no matter how large they are, they can be consumed. At Dugu Yan's explanation, Dugu Bo wiped the gourd with his sleeve and began to bite into it. To his surprise, the Earth Dragon golden gourd was easy to eat. Each bite had a crisp, sweet flavor, quickly turning into a refreshing liquid without much chewing. Dugu Bo felt invigorated and accelerated, taking mouthful after mouthful. If immortal herbs were condensed energy, then such a large gourd contained an immense reserve. Wang Li had no such concerns. He sat down, peeled back the bamboo skin to reveal the shoot, and bit in. The ink jade divine bamboo itself was tough, but the shoots were tender. Before long, Wang Li had eaten all 4 shoots, large and small. As the medicinal power spread through him, even his meridians filled with energy. He stood up and told Dugubo and Duguyan, Grandpa, Yan Yan Jie, I'm going into the ice and fire yin-yang well to absorb the medicinal power. The ice and fire energies inside will help me take it in. Dugubo, who hadn't finished half his gourd yet, could only wave in acknowledgement. Duguyan, knowing that Wang Li had already consumed the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the Lihuo Xingjiao Su and could now freely absorb the ice and fire yin-yang well's energies, wasn't worried. She smiled and said gently, We'll wait outside. Wang Li nodded, leapt, and with a splash plunged into the ice and fire yin-yang well. The extreme heat and cold inside felt merely warm and cool to him. He began formal cultivation, circulating his technique to absorb the well's energy. The power from the ink jade divine bamboo, unlike the octagonal mysterious ice grass or the Lihuo Xingjiao Su, didn't focus on body tempering. As it was absorbed, the energy split, part merged into his spirit, and part transformed into spirit power. His body grew wrapped in a light cocoon. Having taken in enough life essence, Wang Li's spirit evolved once more. This cocoon had a deep, inky tint, not dark or evil, but full of vibrant life. The transformation passed uneventfully. About 7 or 8 hours later, the cocoon shattered, turning into a breeze that returned to Wang Li's body. He awoke shortly after. His physique showed no obvious change, but both his spirit and his spirit power had increased noticeably. Wang Li opened his panel with curiosity. Host, Wang Li. Spirit, Blue Silver King level 6, evolving. Spirit power, level 47, 54%. Trait, Vitality. Level 6, Blue Silver Grass, found across the continent. Weak but with strong vitality. Injuries slowly recover. Passive, Resilience. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Surviving abnormal statuses strengthens physical constitution after recovery. Domain, Blue Silver Domain Level 1, exclusive to the Blue Silver Emperor. Necessary for a Blue Silver King to become Blue Silver Emperor. Spirit Rings. First, equipped. Second, equipped. Third, fourth, equipped. Spirit Bone, none. Combat Experience, 365,790. As expected, absorbing the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo had triggered another spirit evolution. His Blue Silver King spirit had reached level 6 and was now evolving. Wang Li opened the evolving details to see what changed. LV6, LV7, Life Essence. 64,320. Emperor's Essence, also called Blue Silver Affinity, 0.07%. The life essence required for the next evolution had doubled again, which Wang Li had expected, but the appearance of an Emperor's Essence was a surprise. Emperor's Essence, Blue Silver Affinity. He frowned, then realization dawned. To get from level 6 to level 7, I need this Emperor's Essence. That means a level 7 Blue Silver Grass won't just be a Blue Silver King anymore. It becomes the true Blue Silver Emperor. The Blue Silver King is the limit for ordinary Blue Silver Grass. To go beyond, you need Emperor's Essence. Since it's called Blue Silver Affinity, it must be connected to all Blue Silver Grass. So when I gave life force to the Blue Silver Grass in my domain, and they knelt and submitted, the power they returned to me included this Emperor's Essence. Everything fell into place. Wang Li felt enlightened. In other words, if I keep gathering Blue Silver Grass and earning their submission, the spirit power, mental force, life essence, and that Emperor's Essence they give back could actually evolve me into the Blue Silver Emperor. In a good mood, Wang Li checked his other gains. My spirit power is now level 47. Before absorbing the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo, I'd pushed myself to level 43 over 3 months, so the bamboo helped me jump 4 levels. It's not bad, considering I'm already a spirit ancestor, but Yan Yanjie is already a level 53 spirit king. Should I hurry and raise my spirit power too? Grandpa will also get stronger after he finishes the gourd, so he'll be able to protect us. Yan Yanjie, a 19-year-old spirit king, and me, a 12-year-old spirit king. That's a little ridiculous. Forget it. The disguise effect of my blue-silver domain is getting better and better. If I'm going to play this role, I might as well go all the way. First, I'll get my spirit power to level 50. Without hesitation, Wang Li used his experience to raise his spirit power. The change was immediate. He slipped into idle cultivation. Propelled by experience, the spirit power in his body began to circulate along a prescribed path at incredible speed. Normally, cultivating would drain his stamina and energy, but with experience pushing it, his spirit power surged like a torrent. Douluo Bo, after finishing the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd, also entered cultivation. His body was bathed in an earthy yellow light. Vast earth-attributed energy flowed through him, widening meridians, strengthening his physique, enhancing his spirit, and boosting his spirit power. As an immortal herb, the gourd's effects were profound. Wang Li thought back to the discovery about blue-silver grass levels. Level 7 meant the blue-silver emperor. Level 9 approached a realm almost divine. Yin, he reflected, probably never reached that. She had sacrificed herself before reaching her full peak. 102. Black Jade Divine Bamboo Spear. It was worth noting that Douluo Bo, as a titled Douluo, had long since evolved his Beelin snake spirit into a jade phosphor serpent. The Earth Dragon power in the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd could not make him change into a dragon. Once a spirit had gone far down one path, switching paths suddenly would be exponentially more difficult. The fierce jade phosphor serpent simply swallowed the gourd's medicinal energy and turned it into its own nourishment, allowing the serpent to strengthen further. Around the time Wang Li finished absorbing the power of the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo, Douluo Bo had also finished absorbing the power of the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd. His body underwent tremendous internal and external changes. His strength had increased. When he woke and opened his eyes, the previously overwhelming aura had been reined in. There was no more excess energy leaking out. Douluo asked anxiously, "Grandpa, how are you? Did the spirit defect clear up?" Douluo Bo was calm. He already understood his condition and smiled as he explained. It couldn't be completely eliminated, but there's now earth attribute energy in my body that helps suppress the toxin's erosion. From now on, toxins won't affect me as much. My spirit isn't a Beelin snake anymore. It's a jade phosphor serpent. One immortal herb can't change my spirit drastically. He continued, all the medicinal power from the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd was devoured by the jade phosphor serpent. If my spirit power keeps rising, it might evolve into something like a Beelin snake ancestor in the future. As for turning into a dragon, that's probably a distant dream. Douluo pursed her lips. Her grandfather had already given them everything he could. Seeing her worry ease, Douluo Bo laughed and tried to comfort her. Yan, don't be sad. I've been a Beelin snake spirit master my whole life. To cultivate the Beelin snake spirit to its peak is a great fortune. My spirit didn't change much, but after devouring the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd's power, my spirit power reached rank 94. Give me half a year to fully absorb this Earth attribute energy, and with one more secluded cultivation session, I might break through again. A rank 95 spirit power would make me one of the continent's top powerhouses. Xiaoli's second soul skill is miraculous. My body doesn't just look younger, everything has returned to its prime. Maybe later I'll even have a chance at rank 96 or 97. Then perhaps my spirit could be called the Beelin snake ancestor. It wouldn't be much worse than a dragon spirit. Hearing that, Douluo relaxed. Her grandfather was already among the continent's strongest, and one immortal herb could only do so much now. Douluo Bo then asked, a hint of curiosity in his voice, Xiaoli, has he come out of the ice and fire yin-yang well yet? Douluo brightened and shook her head. Xiaoli hasn't come out yet, Grandpa. You're a titled Douluo, so you absorb medicines faster. Xiao Li might need a little more time. Dugubo thought for a moment and laughed. The longer he spends in there, the more thorough the absorption. He'll improve all the more when he comes out. He's at the spirit ancestor realm. After absorbing this, he might break through several more ranks. You know, he's only 12, not even 13. Youth is capital. He still has so much time for cultivation and advancement. They waited nearly 10 more hours before the ice and fire yin-yang well stirred. Wang Li suddenly burst free, landing on the bank with an explosive feat technique, then said lightly with a grin, "Grandpa, Yan Yan Jie, I've finished absorbing the ink jade divine bamboo." Dugubo smiled. "What improvements did you get? You've taken so many immortal herbs, we can't have any problems." Duguyan nodded, equally concerned. Wang Li began to explain his gains. "The octagonal mysterious ice grass, Lihuo Xingjiao Su, improved my physical strength. The penetrating autumn water dew improved my mental force. The ink jade divine bamboo improved the quality of my spirit. Because the ice and fire yin-yang well is so unique, my absorption of the ink jade divine bamboo was extremely thorough. It increased my spirit power by 7 ranks, bringing me to rank 50, and it gave me a natural spirit ability that doesn't require a spirit ring." Dugubo and Duguyan exchanged surprised looks. 12-year-old Wang Li had jumped so far. He was now on the verge of becoming a 5-ring spirit king. Wang Li continued, "This natural spirit ability should be called the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo Spear. The Ink Jade Divine Bamboo greatly enhanced my spirit's toughness, and I can control it with my will, turning the whip-like blue-silver vines as hard as steel and using them like long spears. As many vines as there are, there will be that many spears, which greatly boosts my attack capability." Duguyan smiled brightly. "Xiao Li, it seems the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo is very compatible with you. Your spirit power rising to rank 50 and gaining a natural spirit ability is huge. If you absorb a 5th spirit ring, you'll get another spirit ability. Then a spirit king at your level could have 6 spirit abilities, like a spirit emperor." Wang Li wasn't entirely sure how strong he was now, but he felt confident he could fight above his rank without much trouble. He asked, "And Grandpa? The Earth Dragon Golden Gourd must have helped you a lot too." Dugubo repeated what he'd already said about his condition. Wang Li thought to himself, rank 94 now, and maybe rank 95 in a year. With Grandpa, Poison Douluo's reputation, once he reaches rank 95, no one will easily dare to provoke him. Then Wang Li said seriously, "Grandpa, Yan Yan Jie, we've all improved so much in such a short time. If we go out now, we'll likely draw envy. Why don't we enter secluded cultivation for a year? Grandpa can absorb the earth attribute energy fully and try to break through to rank 95. Yan Yan Ji can research breaking clan medicines and poisons. Biphosphorus dragons thrive on poison, so those toxins could be a shortcut for her rapid advancement. I'll cultivate in the Sunset Forest, using the blue-silver domain to resonate with all the blue-silver grass to speed up my training, and at the same time look for a 10,000-year plant spirit beast to be my 5th spirit ring. Plant spirit beasts cultivated for over 10,000 years are rare, and I want one that's powerful enough." Duguyan agreed wholeheartedly. She had jumped from rank 41 to rank 53 in less than a day. Such a leap was too abrupt. Dugubo pondered and then nodded. "That's a good plan. Once I officially break through to rank 95, I'll go find Spirit Hall's Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo for a fight. We're old rivals. And we'll also warn Spirit Hall to leave my granddaughter and grandson-in-law alone." 103. After retreat. On the outskirts of the valley by the ice and fire yin-yang well, several small wooden houses had sprung up in a surprisingly short time, built by Wang Li and Duguyan together. Before, when Dugubo needed to suppress the extreme poisons of the well, he would casually find a cave, and it didn't matter if there was a lot of commotion. Now that the grandfather and his 2 grandchildren planned to seclude themselves for a year and a half, they erected these cottages, both a place to retract into and somewhere to rest. Most of the time, Dugubo still preferred a cave near the yin-yang well to cultivate in seclusion, integrating the earth-attributed energy the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd brought him. The abundant earth energy increased his body's endurance, which was crucial to his ability to suppress the toxins on his own. Duguyan, after consuming the yearning heartbroken red and the crystal blood dragon ginseng, no longer feared the erosive effects of extreme heat and cold spirit power. She often worked at the yin-yang well, studying both immortal herbs and poisonous plants. Between Dubo's legacy and the inherited knowledge of the Breaking Clan, if she mastered them fully, she would likely become one of the continent's foremost experts in poisons. Her spirit could feed on poison and grow from it, meaning she could research freely without worrying the toxins would consume her. Having confirmed the well's value as a treasure trove, Duguyan carefully tended the medicinal garden, cultivating the immortal herbs and poisonous plants so they could be harvested without destroying their roots. Wang Li's cultivation took a different path. He would leave the valley alone and often disappear for long stretches. Wandering the sunset forest, he used his blue-silver domain to link with every blade of blue-silver grass inside it, imparting life force to them and bending them to his will. Through the feedback of so much connected life, he raised his spirit power, mental force, life essence, and affinity with blue-silver grass all at once, far more efficiently than solitary cultivation. He kept his mind peaceful, disguising himself as an ordinary stalk of grass, observing spirit beasts fighting and spirit masters hunting without leaving a trace. No spirit master or beast ever discovered him. He concerned himself only with the feelings of his subjects, giving them positive feedback. The blue-silver grass were pitifully weak individually, but their numbers were vast in the sunset forest. Wang Li united them one by one, and his own strength slowly increased as a result. Subtle changes were taking place in him, not in height or physique, but in aura and temperament. He was growing closer to nature, more serene and approachable. At Heaven Du Royal Academy, the three teachers felt helpless. Since Dugubo had taken Duguyan and Wang Li away, they had not returned. With Dugubo's methods, hunting a several thousand-year-old spirit beast to secure Duguyan's fourth spirit ring would be easy for him, yet the prolonged absence worried them. Dugubo had once said that after arranging such a hunt, he would personally guide Duguyan and Wang Li for a time, perhaps a reaction to Solace's earlier threat to Wang Li and Duguyan in Heaven Do City. There was little the teachers could do. Still, with Dugubo's protection and instruction, the two were unquestionably safe and would improve quickly, so the teachers had to accept the situation. As a result, the Heaven Do Royal team was down to only 5 members: Oslo, Yufeng, Shimo, and Ye Lingling. Yu Tianheng hadn't returned, and with Duguyan and Wang Li gone, Qin Ming felt dispirited and could only lead the 5 in combat training within the academy. With the team incomplete, coordinated team drills could not be carried out, so they concentrated on individual cultivation, pushing each member to reach spirit ancestor level as soon as possible. Shui Qinghe fretted over Wang Li and Duguyan as well. After learning they had been taken by Dugubo and not returned, he frowned, thinking that having Solace threaten them had provoked a strong response. Unable to influence the situation and unable to win them over, he put the matter temporarily aside. Meanwhile in Barak, Soto City, at the Great Spirit Arena, a middle-aged man with a shrewd merchant's face watched a little freak from his academy win another match and calculated how much more money he could make. Yu Xiaogong, whom Wang Li had once met at Notting Academy, approached slowly. He still looked much the same, tall, thin, and stern. He came up to the shrewd man and said with dry amusement, "Flender, you must have made a tidy sum again." The man was Flender, Dean of Shrek Academy, the four-eyed owl. At Yu Xiaogong's words, his legs almost buckled. He immediately pulled on a mournful expression and complained, "Xiaogong, you took the last bronze coin from my spirit tool storage not long ago. If I don't earn more, this academy will fall apart." Yu Xiaogong shook his head coldly. "Not enough. Nowhere near enough. And what about that other matter? You know Shrek Academy can't give these little freaks the best cultivation environment. They're wasting time, wasting talent." Flender protested softly. "Xiaogong, Shrek is my life's work. We only recruit these so-called freaks. Even if we let them grow freely, they can still succeed, and that success is the pride of Shrek Academy. If they fail, we expel them. Every junior, intermediate, and senior academy on the continent handles failures the same way." Yu Xiaogang narrowed his eyes. Then who do you plan to expel? Flender fell silent. Which of his current students could he bear to cast out? Zhao Wuji, who had been following Flender, offered, why don't we contact Qinming and borrow the Heaven Do Royal Academy's cultivation environment? We're his former teachers. He won't refuse. At that suggestion, Yu Xiaogang reacted like someone whose tail had been stepped on. Heaven Do Royal Academy? First, we don't even know if they'd accept us. Even if they did, they already have their own geniuses. Wang Li, Tang San. Why would they value our students? Why would they take Xiao Wu or anyone from Shrek? Seeing Yu Xiaogang so worked up, Flender hurried to soothe him. No Heaven Do, no Heaven Do. If that doesn't work, there are other options. I'm familiar with the dean at another place. Borrowing their cultivation environment shouldn't be difficult. A peculiar glint flickered in Flender's eyes. After a month of fierce fighting, the Shrek 7 Devils had fulfilled Yu Xiaogang's plan. They had earned silver Douluo badges and formed a silver Douluo team. Without the Imperial fighting team in the way, they'd reached the goal even more smoothly. Now they were gathered in a private room at the Soto Great Spirit Arena, some standing, some sitting, most of them still buzzing with excitement. Dominating the arena without rivals was no small feat, and their talents showed it. Soon several teachers from Shrek Academy arrived, Dean Flender, Grandmaster Yu Xiaogang, and teacher Zhao Wuji among them. The 7 Devils rose to meet them as one. Dean, they called. Grandmaster. Teacher Zhao. Flender laughed heartily first. First of all, congratulations. You've accomplished part of the Academy's graduation requirements in record time. Silver Douluo badges and a silver Douluo team. You little brats make me proud. Shrek Academy is proud of you. The 7 Devils smiled in return, but Flender's face grew a bit serious as he stepped back and gestured to Yu Xiaogang. For the next arrangements, let Grandmaster explain. Yu Xiaogang's expression was solemn. He stepped forward, hands clasped behind his back, and spoke in a deep voice. You've done very well. You've brought the first stage of physical training and the second stage of spirit fighting training to a perfect close. But that's not all. You still must complete the third stage, spirit power training. However, that third stage will not take place at Shrek. It will be in Heaven Do City. There is an advanced Spirit Master Academy there, whose dean is acquaintances with Dean Flender. They are willing to accept students from Shrek Academy. Your third stage spirit power training will be at that advanced Spirit Master Academy. You will use its cultivation resources and environment to rapidly increase your spirit power. The ultimate goal is to prepare for the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Competition, which will be held in a little over a year. This is a continent-wide contest in which only advanced Spirit Master Academies may enter. Outstanding students under 25, cultivated by various academies, will compete in individual and team matches to test their strength. The benefits are immense, so I won't list them all. My requirement for you is this. Win first place in your subdivision at the next All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Competition, and then go on to win first place overall. You won't be representing Shrek Academy officially, but you will carry the name of the Shrek 7 Devils and prove yourselves the #1 force in the world. Flender's gloom eased a little. Even if Shrek Academy faded, the 7 Devils would shine. For the 7 Devils themselves, #1 in the world was an intoxicating prospect, and given their ages, they could enter that competition at least twice. But when Yu Xiaogang said, Heaven Do City, thoughts instantly turned to one person, Wang Li. They had met him once in a small town 100 li outside the Star Do Great Forest while hunting spirit rings. That brief encounter had been enough to shock them. Wang Li had entered the primary Spirit Master Academy at the same time as Tang San and Xiao Wu, but he kept skipping grades. When they met again, Tang San and Xiao Wu were only at 29th level spirit power, while Wang Li had already reached a quasi-spirit ancestor level, 40th level spirit power. Now in their minds, Wang Li was probably a full spirit ancestor. Expressions among the 7 devils turned complicated. Tang San's face grew stony. His blue-silver grass felt inferior to Wang Li's. Xiao Wu's face darkened too. She worried that in Heaven Do City they might run into numerous titled Douluo-level experts. The other 5 were equally uneasy. Among their peers, only Wang Li made them feel outclassed. Ma Hongjin broke the silence quietly. The Advanced Spirit Master Academy in Heaven Do City. Do you mean the Heaven Do Royal Academy? Yu Xiaogong's features tightened. He'd realized his announcement had dampened spirits rather than fired them up. At Ma Hongjun's question, he replied briskly, "Don't assume that. Heaven Do Royal Academy's dean is the current Emperor Shuye, someone not easily approached. Besides, Heaven Do Royal Academy has many noble scions. Its facilities are complete, but its academic atmosphere isn't what I want for you. I don't want you picking up those kinds of habits, so we aren't sending you there. The academy we've chosen is called Blue Tyrant Academy. It's an advanced spirit master academy with a solid foundation in Heavendew City and can bring you great improvement." Yu Xiaogong paused, a little bemused himself. Blue Tyrant Academy. If he hadn't known that the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's own academy was Thunderclap Academy, one of the 5 element academies, he might have suspected it had ties to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan that produced him. He went on, "I know what you're all thinking, but you are not inferior to anyone. Through the first stage of physical training and the second stage of spirit fighting training, you've gained indomitable will and perfect teamwork. All you lack is the chance to truly soar. You'll have a 3-month holiday to recuperate and prepare. After 3 months, we depart for Heaven Do. Rest well and balance your work and leisure." The announcement revived the group, except for Tong San and Xiao Wu, who remained inwardly unsettled. The rest were thrilled. They weren't as familiar with Wang Li, so while they felt pressure, it didn't cripple them. When the holiday began, the 7 devils split off into their usual ways. Some went shopping, some basked in admiration from fans, some indulged in pleasures, and others buried themselves in training or craft. Tang San threw himself into blacksmithing like a man possessed. He believed, without doubt, that Tang Sect hidden weapons were unrivaled in the world. What was the power of a spirit ancestor next to a perfected Tang Sect weapon? If he could forge the Tang Sect's top-tier hidden weapons, he could change the world and stake a claim at its summit. A mere Wang Li would never be his match. Thinking that, Tang San's expression hardened, and the hammer in his hand rose and fell with even greater force. 105. Fantasy Flower Demon Sunset Forest. Wang Li, whom Tang San already regarded as his greatest rival, had by now scoured almost the entire wood. His expression was calm, a faint smile on his lips. His domain, when fully expanded, now covered a radius of 1,000 meters. Not only had his mental force increased greatly, but ever more blue-silver grass were willing to obey him, actively lending their strength. He could even maintain his domain without consuming any energy. Like a snowball rolling downhill, as his subjects multiplied, his control over the blue-silver grass grew ever stronger. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before he became the undisputed king of all the blue-silver grass in the Sunset Forest. What nagged at him, though, was that he still hadn't found a suitable spirit beast for his 5th spirit ring. He had very high standards for it. Ideally, it would offer some influence over Spirit Douluo and titled Douluo to boost his own chances of survival. That constraint narrowed the field of candidates considerably, and he was certain his 5th ring could not come from just a 10,000-year-old beast. Having the Blue-Silver King spirit, awakening the Blue-Silver domain, consuming several immortal herbs, and surviving life and death tempering, Wang Li felt his 5th spirit ring ought to be at least 25,000 years old, both for a powerful spirit ability and for larger reserves of life essence. This was not a matter to rush. Suddenly, Wang Li's perception picked up an astonishing scene. An 8 or 9,000-year-old moonlight deer, a 5 or 6,000-year-old bone-faced demon wolf, and a scattering of other spirit beasts ranging from a few hundred to a few thousand years old. They lay unconscious together, still with lingering auras, not dead, but utterly unresponsive. Curiosity piqued, Wang Li probed deeper through the blue-silver grass and finally found the cause: a flower. 7-colored, dazzling and alive, it swayed as if it were the most beautiful thing in the world. Wang Li's heart leapt. Dream Illusion Flower Demon, the Sunset Forest still has one of these? The Dream Illusion Flower Demon was an extremely rare plant spirit beast. It lacked strong offensive power, but its fragrance could cast illusions that tapped into the deepest longings of humans and spirits. Once trapped, Most would prefer to remain dreaming forever. These plant beasts were hard to discover. Get close and you fell into the dream. Stay away and you'd never know they existed. But thanks to his blue-silver domain and the countless blue-silver grass, Wang Li had detected one. He was ecstatic. The dream illusion flower demon's hypnotic power could affect anyone, regardless of rank. Even spirit Douluo and titled Douluo had desires. No one was completely free of longing. If he could make high-level opponents fall briefly into illusion, he could escape or even secure victory against equals. Wang Li checked the flower's age. From its size and coloration, it was at least 25,000 years old, perhaps close to 30,000, exactly what he needed. The only problem: dream illusion flower demons were notoriously difficult to approach, and their mental attribute made absorbing their spirit rings especially dangerous. Still, having found such a rare beast, Wang Li wasn't about to give up. He fixed its location, took one last long look toward the flower, and then turned to leave. Ice and fire yin-yang well. He found Douluo, who was in seclusion, and reported with a light laugh. "Grandpa, I found the spirit beast I want for my 5th ring, but it's tricky. I'd like you to come back me up. I want to try hunting it myself." Douluo's interest was immediately aroused. Wang Li always picked rare, powerful beasts. He couldn't help but ask, "What kind of spirit beast? How old?" Wang Li answered seriously, "A dream illusion flower demon, at least 20,000 years old. It's in the west of the Sunset Forest, near the Gold Iron Mountain Range." Douluo's brow tightened. He began to scold him at once. "Xiao Li, a dream illusion flower demon is a plant spirit beast with a mental attribute. You know how dangerous those are, and you say it's over 20,000 years old? How dare you think of hunting it?" Spirit beasts over 10,000 years old leave terrifying mental residue when they die. A normal spirit master, even at level 50, must be fully prepared before attempting to absorb a 10,000-year ring. You're being reckless to go after one over 20,000 years old. Wang Li understood Douluo was worried for him, but he only smiled and replied earnestly, "Grandpa, an ordinary spirit master needs to be fully prepared, yes. But I'm not ordinary. I've taken so many immortal herbs from the ice and fire yin-yang well. I have a domain, and my mental force surpasses that of a spirit king. That's not all. As long as there's blue-silver grass, I can use them to help suppress the residual resentment of a dream illusion flower demon. I'll be fine." Douluo still hesitated. A plant spirit beast of that age with powerful mental attributes was no small matter. Wang Li pressed the point. "How about this? You come and protect me, and I'll do the hunt. If I can kill it, there's a chance I can absorb the ring." Reluctantly convinced, Douluo agreed to let him try. He did not truly believe that Wang Li, a quasi-spirit king with 50 levels of spirit power, could take down a beast older than 20,000 years, but he would go as backup. "All right, let's go now," Douluo said. "Spirit beasts below 10,000 years old are one thing. Those above 10,000 are wholly different. Be mentally prepared." Wang Li was thrilled. It would also be a good test of his limits. "Okay, Grandpa, I'll be careful." They left the ice and fire yin-yang well together. Wang Li's return, then immediate departure with Douluo, caught Duguyan's attention. She asked, "Grandpa, Xiao Li, where are you going?" Douluo hesitated, but Wang Li answered calmly, "Yan Jie, Grandpa and I are going out to hunt the spirit beast I need for my 5th spirit ring. Don't worry, we'll be back soon." Douluo didn't press for details and only said, "Then come back early." With that, Douluo did not explain further. Taking Wang Li with him, he soared into the air and they departed. 106. Fight the flower demon. Douluo was naturally much faster than Wang Li, so before long they arrived back on the western edge of Sunset Forest, near the Gold Iron Mountain Range. Mountains pressed against mountains here, and the forest was thick. No wonder a dream illusion flower demon could survive and grow so ancient here. "Is the dream illusion flower demon up ahead?" Douluo asked. Wang Li nodded. "Yes." Douluo's face hardened. "Remember, once we get close, continuously flush your body with mental force. The flower demon's fragrance can penetrate directly into you. Only constant mental flushing will give you any resistance." Wang Li's heart tightened. This spirit beast was even more troublesome than he'd imagined, but that only meant it was more powerful, and the reward for absorbing it would be better. Understood. He let his mind stir and release mental force like water, circulating it rapidly through his body. Douluo did the same, flushing his own energies, then increased his speed. They plunged into the dream illusion flower demon's domain. After they landed, Douluo stared at the many spirit beasts lying unconscious around them and voiced his surprise. The deeper they went, Wang Li felt a creeping presence trying to enter him. With the constant mental flushing, it didn't do much harm. Soon they saw the beast's true form. Douluo's jaw dropped. "Xiao Li, you tricked your old man. Over 1,000, over 2,000, over 7 or 8,000. Over was one thing, but this is over 20,000. No, this is nearly 30,000 years old." Wang Li argued, "My eyesight's not great. If it's not 30,000, it's at least over 20,000. Grandpa, let's not waste time. This won't get easier the longer we wait." He summoned his spirit and, with Douluo at his side, dared to fight without holding back. Blue-silver domain, activate. The domain didn't add much direct combat power now, but it gave him control over more blue-silver grass and increased his recovery rate. He attacked, firing off his first and third soul skills in quick succession. Blue-silver grass exploded up, whipping into the air like giant pythons, each strand gleaming with a metallic luster. The full attribute bonus hit hard. The dream illusion flower demon reacted, swaying and exuding more fragrance and pollen while whipping its vines into defense, vines being a plant's instinct. As a 10,000-year plant beast's vines, their reach and toughness were beyond Wang Li's expectation. Vines from both sides entwined and snapped in the air. The force startled him. But as a spirit master, Wang Li had options. He fully activated the ice poison and fire poison coiled in his blue-silver grass, toxins derived from the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the Li Huo herb, strengthened by the ice and fire yin-yang well. Half of his grass blazed red, the other half glowed icy blue. A fierce, volatile aura rolled off them. Even this ancient flower demon shivered. The demon's vines, though thick and powerful, suffered grievous damage exposed to those twin poisons. A large gap opened in its defenses. Wang Li seized it, calling his first soul skill again while unleashing his innate spirit ability, the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo Spear. Blue-silver grass surged up, turning dark green as it hardened into rigid spear-like shafts, iron-hard, unbreakable, razor-sharp. Boom, boom, boom. The spears blasted through the opening and struck the flower demon's main body. Sand and rock flew, dust filled the air. Wang Li did not relax. According to the rule that creatures of illusion often take little real damage in a smokescreen, the flower demon might not yet be seriously hurt. As expected, when the dust settled, a shimmering, ever-changing 7-colored energy shield hovered over the demon's body. Wang Li also felt something in the air gnawing at him, hypnotic pollen and fragrance. His blue-silver domain and the continual energy supply from the grass allowed him to keep flushing his mind, but it was not a long-term defense. He switched tactics. Using his fourth soul skill, Wang Li drew energy out of the flower demon through his blue-silver vines and funneled it into further powering the ice and fire poisons. That became his most effective method, starving the demon of energy while using the strengthened poisons to eat away at it. If he kept this up, he was confident he could wear the thing down to death. Douluo watched, stunned. Wang Li, only a level 50 quasi-spirit king, was holding his own against a beast that might be close to 30,000 years old. Part of the advantage lay in the demon's nature, a plant that couldn't move. Wang Li had both the mental force to resist its hypnotic assault and the means to actually harm it. The ice and fire poisons inflicted damage comparable to the most formidable 10,000-year spirit abilities. The demon emitted a shriek, not through a mouth but on the mental plane. Immediately, a wave of drowsiness hit Wang Li. His eyelids grew unbearably heavy, and illusions flooded his mind. Douluo smiled softly and opened her arms to embrace him. Wang Li gasped, bit the tip of his tongue to break the illusion with pain, then slapped his own face fiercely, using repeated pain to fight off the sleep. He poured mental force into himself, flushing again and again, while speeding the absorption of the demon's energy to drive the poisons further. At last, with most of its energy drained, the flower demon's 7-colored shield was pierced by the Ink Jade Divine Bamboo Spear, and its main body shattered into fragments. The demon was not yet entirely dead, but the remaining ice and fire poisons finished it. Its unwillingness and resentment abruptly vanished. A terrifying energy began to gather, black chi coalescing into a frantic swirl that condensed into a black spirit ring. At that moment, Wang Li finally exhaled. He used his second soul skill to soothe and heal his stinging cheeks, then looked at the black spirit ring with a grin, wincing again at the lingering pain. He had thought long and hard about his fifth soul skill, the one that enhances mental force and strengthens hypnotic illusions. Mental force could sharpen disguises. Hypnotic illusions were a potent means of self-preservation. The moment the dream illusion flower demon died, its pollen and fragrance lost all effect. The spirit beasts that had been trapped in its sleep gradually woke up according to their strength, but they were still groggy, half asleep, half awake, with a lingering air of pleasure that showed just how intoxicating the demon's illusions had been. Douluo stomped his foot and unleashed a fierce aura. The beasts were instantly shaken fully awake. They let out threatening roars and then fled, unwilling to linger before a titled Douluo, an existence on par with 100,000-year spirit beast. In no time, they scattered like frightened birds and beasts, and the area fell silent. Douluo glanced at Wang Li, sighed, and said, "You actually did it. Hunting a spirit beast that's nearly 30,000 years old by yourself, that puts your strength on the level of a spirit emperor, only a little below a spirit saint using a martial soul true body. Xiao Li, are you really going to absorb that spirit ring? The risks aren't something to brush off." Wang Li's swelling had already begun to subside. He met Douluo's gaze with confidence. "Grandpa, like I said, if I can take it down, I can absorb it. Let me rest a little, and I'll get back to my best." He unleashed his domain, spreading it over several hundred, even up to 1,000 meters. Every strand of blue-silver grass within responded like loyal soldiers, lending their strength to speed his recovery. A faint bluish current of energy swirled around him, and with every breath it flowed into his body, patching his losses. Combining his two spirit talents, Wang Li's condition quickly returned to near peak. He shifted, then turned to Douluo. "I'll start absorbing the spirit ring now. It may take some time. I'll need you to guard me." Douluo wasn't one to argue forever. Seeing Wang Li's resolve, he stopped trying to dissuade him. "I won't let anyone interfere," he said, "but during the absorption, I can't help you directly. You'll have to rely on yourself." Wang Li nodded and walked to the spirit ring. He sat cross-legged and began the absorption. The spirit ring, an inky, impossibly deep black, floated to his side, enveloped his spirit, and merged. An colossal tide of spirit power burst into him. This was the ring of a spirit beast, nearly 30,000 years old, an amount of power that even many 60-level quasi-spirit emperors would hesitate to attempt. Despite his preparations, Wang Li was shaken. The spirit power filled his meridians, packed every channel until there was no room left. It was profoundly uncomfortable, but he had decided not to give up. He circulated his cultivation technique and activated his spirit power. A faint golden light shimmered across his skin, muscles, bones, and meridians, acting as a bridge that unified and restrained the torrent of power so it wouldn't run wild. Bit by bit, he began to channel the vast energy, coaxing it to circulate and slowly taming it. With a good opening, Wang Li should have been able to finish the absorption with a bit more time. But spirit rings, older than 10,000 years, carry the spiritual remnants of their beasts. As a plant-type spirit beast with potent illusion attributes, the dream illusion flower demon did not assault Wang Li's spirit outright. Instead, it hid inside the ring and, like a spider, spun an unseen force that pulled him into a dream realm. Everything around him fell silent, so much so that Wang Li didn't notice. At first, the absorption felt alarmingly smooth. He even accelerated his technique, wanting to finish quickly. The stranger thing was the more he forced himself, the faster he forgot that he was doing it. He began to lose track of the circulation itself. A vague, nagging sense told him he should be doing something, but he couldn't recall what. His spirit drifted without anchor, aimless and exposed. In truth, the moment he let his circulation slack, the endless spirit power pouring from the ring began to damage his body, and he wasn't able to stop it. Then, calls came, shouts from his subjects transmitted through the blue-silver domain. The sudden contact jolted Wang Li's spirit like a shock. "I underestimated you." That cry snapped him back to reality. He gripped the connection to the outside world, re-established control over his body, resumed circulating his cultivation technique, and reactivated his spirit power. He continued to absorb and refine the ring. Minutes passed. With a sharp cry, roar! The last of the dream illusion flower demon's remnants dissipated, and Wang Li fully regained control. Without the demon's interference, the spirit ring was completely subdued by him. Wang Li sat cross-legged, the blue-silver king spirit standing before him, unmasked, thick and upright, crystalline. Two swirling red and blue patterns within it still radiated fierce intent even under restraint. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, and finally the black ring, the last one, circled his body like the others had. He opened his eyes and let out a long breath. The absorption was finished. He checked his panel. Host, Wang Li, Spirit, Blue-Silver King Level 6, Evolving. Spirit Power, Level 54, 12%, Trait, Vitality. Level 6, as the singular king of Blue-Silver Grass, the Blue-Silver King possesses immense vitality, a powerful physique, tremendous strength, and rapid regeneration. Passive, Tenacity, Level 6. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger. When afflicted by any non-fatal abnormal condition, his constitution is greatly enhanced after recovery. Domain, Blue-Silver Domain LV2, the exclusive domain of the Blue-Silver Emperor, an essential domain for the Blue-Silver King to evolve into the Blue-Silver Emperor. Spirit Rings. First Spirit Ring, equipped. Second Spirit Ring, equipped. Third Spirit Ring, equipped. Fourth Spirit Ring, equipped. Fifth Spirit Ring, equipped. Spirit Bone, none. Combat Experience, 36124. Wang Li thought to himself, Level 54 Spirit Power. That's the result of over-limit Spirit Ring absorption plus my cultivation during this period. Not bad, the effort paid off. And the Blue-Silver domain reached Level 2 as well. During the absorption, my spirit was tempered and strengthened. I really owe it to the Blue-Silver domain and all the Blue-Silver grass. Without them, my spirit might have been expelled, eventually dissipating into the world. Wang Li was naturally pleased. His strength and his domain had both improved. He opened the evolution interface. ELV 6-7 Origin of Life, 214-320. Emperor's Origin, also called Blue-Silver Affinity, 7.68%. He was satisfied. He was now a big step closer to evolving into a Blue-Silver Emperor. Next came the fifth Spirit Ring, a 10,000-year ring. Wang Li's heart quickened as the details appeared. Spirit Ability, Dream Illusion Realm. When a dream illusion flower blooms, its pollen and fragrance carry mental force that can penetrate an enemy's body, act on their nerves, and transmit to their spirit, dragging them into a dream illusion. The longer they remain immersed, the harder it is to break free. Source Dream Illusion Flower Demon, a rare, plant-type, mental attribute spirit beast, a master of dreams and manipulator of illusions. Age, 28,436. Wang Li was very satisfied. A nearly 30,000-year-old plant spirit beast and a mental attribute ring at that. This would be immensely beneficial. Dugubo's voice came over then. Good, you made it through. For a while there, your body ballooned up like a meatball. That scared me. Xiao Li, for Yan Yan's sake, don't take such risks so casually again. And a spirit ability from a spirit beast, that old must be powerful. Wang Li stood and smiled, explaining, the Dream Illusion Flower Demon releases pollen and fragrance to pull people into dream illusions. It's a group control ability. He stopped mid-sentence, staring at the corpse of the Dream Illusion Flower Demon. Something about the corpse was drawing him. Grandpa, wait! He walked over, peeled open the giant flower bud, and a 7-colored light flooded his eyes. His pupils contracted. It was a spirit bone. The bone was a skull, radiating 7-colored light and a strong mental force. Dugubo joined him, and on seeing the spirit bone, his pupils narrowed in shock. A spirit bone? Xiaoli, you actually found a spirit bone on a single hunt of a 10,000-year spirit beast? Your luck is ridiculous. Wang Li thought to himself. A dignified spirit beast, nearly 30,000 years old, killed by me, a spirit forefather with only 4 spirit rings. It must have been unwilling. Its intense resentment, fused with its mental force, produced this skull bone. Dugubo urged him, stop staring, absorb it quickly. When a spirit ring and a spirit bone come from the same spirit beast, their effect on the same person will be strongest. And don't expose it. Once people know, you'll have to eliminate any threat. Spirit bones are already extremely rare. They drop immediately after a kill. Even with my deterrence, some people aren't afraid to die for one. Wang Li came back to himself and nodded solemnly. Grandpa, I know. Though under 30,000 years, as a mental attribute spirit bone, it was extremely valuable. He took the skull bone, sat cross-legged, placed it on his forehead, circulated his spirit power, and began to absorb it. The solid bone slowly dispersed into mist and cloud, merging into his body. The vapor felt like pure mental force, and Wang Li soaked it up quickly. Thanks to the penetrating autumn water dew, his mental force had achieved preliminary materialization long ago and had already activated his domain. With the fifth spirit ring and the life and mental attribute of the ring he just absorbed, his mental force surged. Now, with this spirit bone from the same spirit beast as his ring, another great transformation occurred. His mental force expanded rapidly, the formless coalescing into form, countless motes of light flickering like a star river. His mental power leapt past the Spirit King, Spirit Emperor, and Spirit Saint thresholds, approaching the level of an ordinary Spirit Douluo. He exhaled, opened his eyes, stood, and shook his head with a rueful smile. A bit useless, a bit useless. Douluo asked, surprised, "What do you mean? You're not happy after absorbing a spirit bone?" Wang Li explained, "I'm thrilled to absorb it. My mental force increased dozens, maybe 100-fold. With this mental power, my fifth ability might even affect Spirit Douluo and Titled Douluo. It's just the spirit bone skill itself that's underwhelming." Dream illusion. If your mental force is overwhelmingly stronger, you can invade someone's mind, view or fabricate memories, erase memories, blur the line between reality and illusion. It's more of a support or control skill than an offensive one. Douluo thought for a moment. Compared to his own head spirit bone skill from the 70,000-year Medusa's gaze, Wang Li's skull skill did lack direct offensive bite. He comforted him, though. It's not bad. Spirit bones are chance finds. You can't ask for them. Your strength is already formidable. Though this spirit bone didn't grant a powerful attack, it greatly amplified your mental force and perfectly complements your fifth spirit ability. Wang Li accepted that. It mightn't match the wisdom-condensing mental skull bone awarded at the Grand Soul Master Tournament, but because the spirit ring and spirit bone were from the same spirit beast, their synergy made them worth more than the sum of their parts. Douluo said in admiration, "You've absorbed the spirit ring and the spirit bone. You truly are a spirit king now. A spirit king at 12, almost 13. This is outrageous. Come on, let's head back to the valley." Wang Li shook his head. "Grandpa, you go back first and tell Yanyanji I'm safe. I want to stay in the forest and cultivate a bit longer." Douluo hesitated, then agreed. "You downed a 30,000-year spirit beast just like that. The sunset forest won't be a problem for you. I'll leave first." He rose and departed. Wang Li remained alone for a while. He stretched and then surveyed the area. He summoned his blue-silver domain and expanded it with all his power. 100 meters, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 3,000. After absorbing the Dream Illusion Flower Demon's spirit ring and spirit bone, his amplification was terrifying. With a single thought, his spirit power, aura, and spirit rings all concealed themselves. He and his spirit seemed to transform into an ordinary strand of blue-silver grass. "Thank you all," Wang Li murmured, and released his life force, giving it to every blue-silver grass within his domain. The grasses swayed, not for the breeze, but for a single person. All of the blue-silver grass within his domain bent toward him. Their movement answered only one being. 1 month later, Sunset Forest. In that time, Wang Li had collected every blue-silver grass in the Sunset Forest and the nearby ranges. His Emperor's affinity, his blue-silver affinity, had climbed to an astonishing 12.46%, but it had reached its limit here. The blue-silver grass could only supply so much. To raise his affinity further, he had to leave. After all, an emperor must tianxia, patrol the world, win the recognition of the people. Only then could he truly wield authority. Wang Li's eyes were steady. "I need to go out and travel," he said. He returned to the ice and fire yin-yang well, and using everything he'd learned in his life, cooked several attractive, decent-tasting dishes. When Douluo and Yan came out, he ate with them, and then laid his plan out plainly. "Grandpa, Yan, I'm going to travel. I want to leave the sunset forest and go elsewhere." Duguyan blinked in confusion. "But Xiao Li, weren't you supposed to go into seclusion for a while? Why leave now?" Wang Li smiled. "I'm not going to big cities. I'll be going to deep mountains, nameless ranges, spirit beast forests. I'll use my blue-silver domain to gather the blue-silver grass's power. I won't interact much with people. Besides you two, no one will know what I'm doing." Dugubo and Duguyan understood at once. Dugubo, after a moment, asked, "How long will you be gone?" "Not sure," Wang Li said. "Maybe half a year to a year." "That long?" Duguyan's delicate brows knit. After thinking for a moment, she looked up at him and said earnestly, "Xiao Li, I'm coming with you. I don't want to be apart from you for so long." Wang Li liked the idea, but cautioned for her sake. "I'm glad, but this will be rough. You still need to study medicine and poisons, better done here at the yin-yang well where the herbs are plentiful. Traveling with me would slow your research." Dugubo watched them with feeling, then nodded. "If you want to go, both of you should go. With your strength, as long as Spirit Hall, the 7 great sects, and the 2 empires don't especially target you, no one will harm you. As for Yan Yan's studies," he reached for a bag at his waist and handed it to Duguyan. "The Wishful 100 treasure purse can store living things. Inside is my many years' experience with poisons. Even without me, you can study the essence of them. I've also cultivated many poisonous creatures for you to research and to use for defense." He paused. "Take whatever medicinal herbs from the yin-yang well you think you'll need. I'll tend the rest. Nothing will happen to them." Wang Li and Duguyan exchanged surprised, grateful looks. Duguyan accepted the purse and smiled like a spoiled child. "Thank you, Grandpa." Dugubo returned the smile, indulgent. "When you're out, take care of each other. Once you leave, I'll go into seclusion too, to build my spirit power and try to break through the 95th level." Wang Li had a thought and decided to share it. "Grandpa, about breaking past the 95th level, I've had an idea, some recent insight. I'm not sure if it applies to a titled Douluo, but," he explained slowly, "our Dantian, when we're not using spirit power, is like a pool of still water. I thought, could we make the spirit power inside it move on its own, like a tornado? With a small eye, a tornado can whip up a vortex hundreds or thousands of feet high, creating enormous destructive force. If we can make the spirit power circulate around some kind of core medium, condense it into a vortex, then movement contains stillness, and stillness contains movement. If that vortex can stabilize, spirit power would constantly circulate." Dugubo had listened with a faint smile at first, but as Wang Li went on, his expression changed. He grew thoughtful, then serious, brows knitting. Dantian, spirit power, vortex, a core medium. The more he thought, the more engrossed he became. Wang Li and Duguyan gave him space to ponder. 3 days later, Wang Li accompanied Duguyan to gather medicinal herbs. After another 3 days, they came to bid Dugubo farewell. He gathered his spirits, offered a few parting words, and watched them until they disappeared into the distance. Reluctant though he was, they were his last 2 relatives. Dugubo did not let it sway him. He murmured to himself as he turned back toward his seclusion cave. With a Dan bead as the core, condense spirit power into a vortex, movement within stillness, stillness within movement, mutually dependent. If that works, I can break the 95th level. How did Xiao Li think of this? He's getting very clever. Then he flicked his sleeve and returned to the valley, to the cave where he would cultivate. As they traveled, every blue-silver grass they passed twisted and bowed as if greeting their king. Seeing that, Duguyan grew curious. "Xiao Li, you're leaving the sunset forest alone to gather the blue-silver grass's power?" Wang Li swept his gaze over the swaying grass. "I lead them with my blue-silver domain. They've pledged allegiance to me. But I need more. I have to travel to gather their power." Duguyan's eyes brightened as she remembered the white-haired, ancient spirit beast they had once met. "You're already a blue-silver king. If you gather more of the grass's power, could you evolve into the blue-silver emperor, like that old white-haired beast said?" Wang Li nodded, hands clasped behind his back, staring into the distance. "It should be like that. The blue-silver grass's power is essentially life force. It gives better health, greater strength, and faster recovery." He offered a small example. "Yan Yan, when we first met, no matter how much I ran, I never felt tired. That's because my recovery is so quick, I don't feel the exhaustion. Duguyan's eyes curved in understanding. So your stamina is excellent. You never get tired. Exactly, Wang Li said. Then they continued on, blue-silver grass rustling around them like a living escort, as the three of them set out on different paths, each driven toward their own breakthroughs and futures. 110. Clan of Power, Wang Li and Duguyan left Sunset Forest and headed east, avoiding the main roads in favor of little-used trails that wound through dense, untouched growth. The vegetation was especially lush here, fields of blue-silver grass, that common weed of the continent, spread as far as the eye could see. Wang Li did not hurry. His purpose for the trip was deliberate, to use his blue-silver domain to gather more blue-silver grass as his subjects, condense their essences, and push himself up to the rank of emperor. The slow pace suited him. The scenery along the way was part of the plan. Duguyan let him be. Both were spirit kings. A few hardships on the road mattered little. Besides, Duguyan carried a wishful 100 treasure purse filled with medicinal herbs, poisons, Dugubo's notes on toxins, and the breaking clan's inheritances, all of which occupied her time and kept her from being bored. Days passed, and both of them advanced rapidly. Though the conditions were rough, they enjoyed the journey. At the same time, in Barak, Soto City, after a 3-month break, the teachers and students of Shrek Academy regrouped and left for Heaven Do City. As usual, there were no carriages. They walked the whole way. Passing through Sylve's kingdom, they once again fought in the Sylve's Great Spirit Arena, but this time the battles were more dangerous, life and death matches. Rather than pick an opponent at Spirit Ancestor level, they chose the notorious Fierce God Team, a squad made entirely of Spirit Ancestors. Shrek fielded 4 Spirit Elders, Dai Mubai, Oscar, Tang San, and Xiao Wu, plus 3 Spirit Grandmasters, Ma Hongjun, Juju King, and Ning Rongrong. No one expected much when such a team stepped up to challenge a team of Spirit Ancestors. Yet in the Great Spirit Arena, the Shrek 7 Devils, relying on the godly Zhuje crossbow, annihilated all 7 members of the Fierce God Team in an instant. Their blood stained the arena. All 7 Shrek members were shaken in their own ways, but Tang San was ecstatic. He thought to himself, this is the true power of Tang Sect hidden weapons. In his previous life, 100 Tang Sect outer disciples armed with godly Zhu crossbows had wiped out many masters of an invading sect. The victory paid off for Flender and many Shrek teachers. They made a tidy profit and celebrated. Without much delay, the group continued on, and after some time, entered Diao Province and reached Heaven Do City. This time, they did not go to Heaven Do Royal Academy. After arriving in the city, they found Blue Tyrant Academy instead. When the old Golden Triangle met again, Yu Xiaogang exploded in anger, accusing Flender of deception and preparing to leave. Flender, however, persuaded him to think of the Academy's little freaks, pleading with Yu Xiaogang to stay. In the end, it was Flender and Liu Erlong who begged Yu Xiaogang to remain. Reluctantly and for Tang San's sake, he agreed. Seeing Flender and Yu Xiaogang, Principal Liu Erlong gave up her position, the Academy, the teachers, the students, in short, the entire school, to Flender. After twists and turns, Flender remained principal of Shrek Academy, and the former Blue Tyrant Academy was renamed Shrek Academy. Things seemed to be back on track. The Shrek 7 Devils gained access to the best cultivation resources and training environment. However, Tang San no longer had the immortal herb, nor did the other 6 members. Wang Li and Duguyan were still traveling in remote mountains and forests. Dugubo, meanwhile, was in seclusion, breaking through to the 95th level of spirit power, and had no time to go out. Back at the academy, Tai Long, the former chief student of Blue Tyrant Academy, was dazzled by Xiaowu's beauty and began to shower her with attention. Xiaowu didn't like Tai Long and decided to tease him. She told him to duel Tang San, promising that if he won, she would favor him. Tai Long was thrilled. Tang San, who disliked Tai Long's advances toward Xiaowu, accepted. Though Tai Long's spirit power was higher than Tang San's, Tang San used tactics and techniques to teach him a thorough lesson. Tai Long came from the Strength Clan, a family fiercely protective of its own, so when their scion was embarrassed, his father Tai Nuo came to the academy in person. Tai Long's spirit power might have been a few levels above Tang San's. He was even a spirit elder. But Tainuo was a true spirit king, an extreme strength type whose spirit rings all enhanced physical power. In a raw strength contest, he could compare to a spirit emperor or spirit saint. And Tang San? He was only at 33rd level spirit power. He had methods, an external spirit bone 8 spider lances that let him contend with a spirit ancestor, but against Tainuo, a spirit king of overwhelming strength, he was no match in frontal combat. Tainuo wanted to make Tang San suffer to avenge his son. But Tang San was not the sort to accept humiliation. From the massive godly Zhu crossbow down to the smallest silent sleeve dart, Tang San unleashed an arsenal of hidden weapons. Dragonbeard needle, willow leaf darts, bone-penetrating nails, all fired at Tainuo. Tainuo's spirit manifested as the great ape, granting him enormous strength and phenomenal defense. The weapons drew wounds, but could not kill him. They did, however, infuriate him. A spirit elder had driven him to such extremes. After a moment's hesitation, Tainuo activated his spirit ability and charged. As they closed, Tang San thrust his 8 spider lances, taking one of the impacts on himself to drive the 8 spider legs deep into Tainuo's body. He injected the potent man-faced demon spider venom and simultaneously used his devouring ability to absorb spirit power and rapidly recover. It was the first time Tang San felt such a surge. Under devastating pressure and the shock of Tainuo's spirit power, he shattered his previous limit and broke through his realm to the 34th level of spirit power. The cost was steep. Tang San was grievously injured. The 8 spider lances were broken, his bones and meridians nearly ruptured. He collapsed to the ground, unable to move. Tainuo, poisoned by the man-faced demon spider's venom, wore a purplish-green pallor. His massive form swayed and finally toppled. Xiao Wu carried Tang San away, while Tai Long dragged Tainuo out. At Shrek Academy, seeing Tang San pale and unconscious on the bed, Yu Xiaogong nearly lost his mind. He didn't know how to explain what had happened to Tang Hao, nor who would help verify his theories if Tang San suffered lasting harm. The Strength Clan's current leader, Tai Tan, furious at his son's condition, had Tainuo carried away and summoned Tai Long. They stormed toward Shrek Academy. Without question, both sides were burning with rage. Shrek Academy, formerly Blue Tyrant Academy, was thrown into turmoil by the arrival of Tai Tan. He was a true spirit Douluo powerhouse, an extreme strength type whose terrifying might and aura neared that of the continent's strongest, the titled Douluo. When he came calling, the Academy's teachers dared only to report the news. None would stop him. Yu Xiaogong, Flender, and Liu Erlong stepped forward. Others might fear a spirit Douluo, but Yu Xiaogong did not. He knew who Tang San's father was, and hatred flared in his voice as he said, "You actually came here? You injured my disciple Tang San. This grudge, this hatred, will never be forgotten." Tai Tan laughed angrily, unleashing his aura without restraint, then sneered. "When has a bug ever dared speak to me that way? You're not even a spirit elder, and yet you brag like that. Hand Tang San over now and have him detoxify my son. If anything happens to my son, I will tear down your academy." A surging aura washed over them, and Yu Xiaogong went pale, partly from the pressure, partly from the sting of the words. Yu Xiaogong had an innate half-step spirit power and would never break past Spirit King level in his life. It was a deep, lifelong wound. Now to be mocked like this, his temper frayed. Flender and Liu Erlong stepped in front of him, helping him stabilize. Both were Spirit Saint powerhouses, one realm lower than Titan, but not helpless. They shared Yu Xiaogong's outrage. Yu Xiaogong's eyes reddened. "Tang San is still unconscious. You want us to hand him over? That's not happening. Sun and moon radiance, golden turn." As his voice fell, Yu Xiaogong, Flender, and Liu Erlong were bathed in golden light that rapidly merged. The aura from their fusion matched Titan's in strength. Titan's eyes widened. "This is a Wuhan fusion," he exclaimed. He was fierce and impulsive, but not ignorant. The merged aura of the three made him feel the pressure, but thinking of his son darkened his expression. He directly activated his spirit avatar. His towering iron tower frame grew even larger and more massive. His arms reached past his knees, muscles bulging. 8 spirit rings appeared. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 one by one. Terrifying spirit power erupted, distorting the air, the terror of an extreme strength-type spirit Douluo. Titan roared, "No matter what tricks you use, If you don't hand Tang San over today, don't blame me for being impolite. Yu Xiaogong, Flender, and Liu Erlong completed their Wuhun fusion as well. Yu Xiaogong's Luosan Pao, with his original 2 spirit rings plus Flender's 7 and Liu Erlong's 7, totaled 16 spirit rings. It roared and transformed into a dragon tens of meters long, bearing fangs and claws, majestic and fearsome. The trio, the famous golden triangle from their youth in the spirit master world, raised a single sword-like finger as one and said sternly, "If you want Tang San, you won't get past us today. When Tang San's father comes, he'll ensure you die without a grave." Taitan laughed loudly, his aura peaking. "I've feared no one in my life. Not even the 7 great sects make me bow. Who is this person?" he scoffed. Yu Xiaogong thought for a moment. He had to create some restraint in Taitan. If the fight broke loose, the academy could be destroyed. He spoke coldly, "Tang Hao." At that name, Taitan's peak aura was abruptly interrupted as if struck by lightning. His internal energy surged erratically, his body unsteady. He took several steps back, face full of disbelief. "Clear sky," he murmured. Yu Xiaogong felt a swell of satisfaction at Taitan's change. He said firmly, "That's right." Taitan's vision clouded for a moment. Tang Hao, Tang San his son. The thought aged him. He retracted his spirit avatar and bowed, humbling himself. "Today was my fault. Forgive me. It's just that my son, he's running out of time," he pleaded. "Just let me see Tang San. I only want him to detoxify my son. I won't harm him otherwise." Yu Xiaogong, Flender, and Liu Erlong exchanged looks, surprised that simply naming Tang Hao could make a spirit Douluo like Taitan submit. They dispelled their Wuhun fusion. After all, this was inside Shrek Academy. If they could avoid a fight, better to do so. Yu Xiaogong warned, "Tang San is still unconscious. When he wakes, he can detoxify your son, but you must not force him awake beforehand. He could suffer further harm." Taitan thought of his son, of Tang Hao and Tang San, and closed his eyes in resignation. He nodded, grief and shame in his face. "I understand." Inside the academy, in Tang San's infirmary room, Tang San lay on the bed, Xiao Wu always at his side. Yu Xiaogong, Flender, and Liu Erlong stood nearby with several teachers behind them. Taitan and Tai Long waited anxiously on the other side, but Tang San would not wake. As dusk fell, 4 or 5 hours passed before Tang San slowly opened his eyes. He groaned. Pain throbbed through his body. Wang Li had grown used to it, but for Tang San this was new. Xiao Wu cried with joy, "Brother, you're awake!" Everyone in the room was stunned. Taitan took a few hurried steps forward and then, like an iron tower collapsing, sank to his knees, pleading, "Young friend, please help detoxify my son. He's about to give out." With Xiao Wu's help, Tang San sat up and looked at Yu Xiaogong, Flender, and Liu Erlong, then at Taitan and Tai Long. He put together what had happened. Though he hated it, Taitan's aura had been fearsome. Tang San's voice was hoarse. "Tai Long, and you, sir, bring him over." Taitan and Tai Long were overjoyed. They quickly had Tai Nuo carried in. Tai Nuo's face was blue and purple, his breath shallow as if he were already gone, but one faint breath remained. Tang San summoned his 8 spider lances. 2 of the spider legs were relatively intact. He used them to pierce Tai Nuo's body and drew out the man-faced demon spider's venom, along with Tai Nuo's spent spirit power and vitality. Tang San's eyes flickered. He circulated his mysterious heaven skill, absorbing those energies, and his body recovered rapidly. 10 minutes later, Tang San withdrew the 8 spider lances. "The detox is complete," he said. "Now he'll have to recover on his own." Taitan and Tai Long were full of gratitude. Tang San likely knew Tai Nuo would not wake fully. The poison had been corroding him for too long. His bones, meridians, and nerves had been eaten away. Special energies had been siphoned by the 8 spider lances. He didn't say this aloud. 112. Use it right and you will be right. Use it wrong and you will be evil. Under the circumstances, Taitan didn't think it was the time to press Tang San, so he quickly led his people away. He planned to wait until Tai Nuo woke, then take Tai Nuo and Tai Long with him to apologize to Tang San and explain the situation. After Taitan and his men left, Tang San looked at teacher Yu Xiaogong, Dean Flender, and Aunt Liu Erlong and asked solemnly, "Teacher, who was that?" His aura was terrifying. Yu Xiaogong let out a long breath when he saw Tang San awake. He's the current patriarch of the Strength Clan, a true spirit Douluo. He's Tai Long's grandfather. The man you poisoned is his son, Tai Long's father. At the word spirit Douluo, Tang San felt his face go pale. If such a powerful figure learned his son might be left between life and death forever, he would almost certainly pursue vengeance. Seeing Tang San's expression, Yu Xiaogang understood the boy's worry. Although it was awkward to bring up Tang Hao's affairs, he still tried to calm him. "Little San, don't panic," Yu Xiaogang said. "With the three of us, the Golden Triangle, united, we won't allow Tai Tan to act rashly. We'll handle the situation." Hearing that, Tan decided to tell them the truth. "Teacher, Dean, Aunt Liu Erlong, when things got bad, I injected Tai Nuo with a large amount of man-faced demon spider venom. By now, too much time has passed. I did manage to extract all the venom, but I can't be sure when Tai Nuo will wake up, if he ever will." Yu Xiaogang, Flender, and Liu Erlong were stunned. If Tai Nuo never woke, Tai Tan would never let it go. Yu Xiaogang's face darkened. "Then don't ever say that again. You saved him from the poison, and after that you know nothing about it. Do you understand? We'll pretend we never heard it." Tang San nodded solemnly, feeling the weight of the situation. A spirit Douluo's wrath was not to be taken lightly. He hated his own weakness in that moment. He remembered how, earlier when he fought Tai Nuo, he had absorbed the opponent's spirit power through his 8 spider lances and, after refining it, had broken through to level 34. And just now, while extracting the venom, he'd absorbed Tai Nuo's spirit power and special energy again. By refining it with the mysterious heaven skill, he was healing his internal injuries quickly, and his spirit power had surged. Thinking this over, Tang San lowered his eyes. He realized he could further develop the 8 spider lance's devouring ability to speed his cultivation. That devouring power could be used for good or evil. He favored hidden weapons and poisons, but he prided himself on being a man of principle. He resolved he could use the lance's devouring to do what he believed was right, while also gaining the energy to strengthen himself. After that day, Tai Long didn't return to school. He stayed home guarding Tai Nuo for 3 days and 3 nights. Though Tai Nuo's aura was faintly present, there was no sign of him waking, which made Tai Tan and Tai Long frantic. Tai Long blamed himself. If he hadn't provoked Xiao Wu, he wouldn't have provoked Tang San. If he hadn't provoked Tang San, he wouldn't have been beaten. If he hadn't been beaten, Tai Nuo wouldn't have stepped forward, and then none of this would have happened. After 3 days, Tai Long could no longer hold it in. Standing by his father's bedside, face full of grief and fury, he said, "Grandpa, let's go find Tang San. He's the bastard who did this to my father. If he can't wake him, I'll make him sleep like Dad." Tai Tan glanced at him. "Nonsense. Don't make a fool of yourself again. Your son brought this on himself. From now on, you are not to bother Tang San." Tai Long's eyes widened in disbelief. "Grandpa, my father's your own son, and now he's in a coma. How can you still defend an outsider?" Tai Tan stared up, a bitter expression on his face. Seeing his son in a coma hurt him deeply, but memories of the past, Tang Hao, Tang San, made him unable to act rashly. He gave a wry smile. "Gather your father. We're going to the Star Luo Empire to find your grandfather Yang. That old goat understands both medicine and poisons. Your father still has an aura but won't wake. It might be poison erosion. With Yang Wudi, we may find a way." Tai Long was stunned. His father lay comatose, yet his grandfather refused to press Tang San and instead chose to travel to the Star Luo Empire to seek out Yang Wudi. Tai Long didn't fully understand it, but he didn't argue. The hatred he felt for Tang San was only buried for the moment. He wouldn't forget it. The next day, Tai Tan and Tai Long set out for the Star Luo Empire with Tai Nuo. Tai Tan ordered the other Strength Clan members not to cause trouble. The incident at Shrek Academy did not stay secret for long. A spirit Douluo, nearly clashing with a powerful Wuhun fusion skill in the city, produced an aura that couldn't be concealed. Both sides quietly agreed not to publicize the full facts. Rumors only said Titan had come to Shrek Academy and been repelled by the combined Wuhun fusion skill of Yu Xiaogang, Flender, and Liu Erlong. The Golden Triangle, already well known in the Spirit Master world, once again became the talk of Heaven Do City. Titan never returned to Shrek Academy to make trouble, which eased Tang San's mind, but it also hardened his resolve. He had to get stronger as fast as possible. Since they'd arrived at the former Blue Tyrant Academy, now Shrek Academy, the The 7 devils had all found suitable simulated cultivation environments. Tang San should have been the easiest, since blue-silver grass was everywhere, but he often asked for leave, saying he needed to go to the forest outside the city to experience a more authentic natural environment. That simulated environment, he claimed, let him cultivate faster. Yu Xiaogang trusted his disciple and granted the leave. Tang San was grateful for Yu Xiaogang's trust, but he couldn't ignore a growing distance from Xiao Wu. She had been growing less close to him. There was often a strange, unfamiliar look in her eyes, which puzzled him. His current purple demon eye, without consuming penetrating autumn water dew, still couldn't clearly perceive Xiao Wu's true form. As a spirit beast in human disguise, Xiao Wu was more sensitive to auras. She was gradually discovering that Tang San's changes made her uneasy. This subtle estrangement laid a groundwork, an early foreshadowing, so that if Tang San later walked a darker path, the change wouldn't feel completely abrupt. Chapter 113: Poison, Chrysanthemum Battle. 1 year had passed since Wang Li and Dugu Yan left Sunset Forest. Dugu Bo emerged from the valley of the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well with no visible aura, looking like an ordinary man, but his expression carried a new, lofty arrogance. He was now a level 95 titled Douluo, and not a recent, shaky promotion. Among level 95 titled Douluo, he could confidently say his spirit power was far ahead. Following Wang Li's cultivation method, Dugu Bo used the Danju as the core and condensed his spirit power into a vortex. After months of practice, when he found stillness within motion and motion within stillness, the vortex stabilized and he ascended to level 95. The Danju had formed the moment his Bi-Lin snake evolved into the Jade Phosphor Serpent. It accounted for half his strength. With the Danju at the center and the vortex as the surface, his spirit power kept growing. He spent the next year consolidating the realm, a few months' focused refinement that equaled years of ordinary cultivation. Dugu Bo felt that once the vortex fully materialized, he could step into level 96, but that required time to accumulate spirit power. For now, he decided to go out for a walk. He looked up at the sky and squinted. Yan Yan, Xiao Li aren't back yet. Since I broke through, I'll drop by Spirit Hall to say hello. Heh! Then he rose into the air. A day later, a few miles outside Spirit City, where Spirit Hall stood, Dugu Bo briefly manifested his aura, then retracted it and vanished, heading instead for a forest 100 miles away. He wasn't foolish enough to cause a scene in Spirit City. He only wanted to greet someone privately. Inside Spirit City, the chrysanthemum Douluo Yuguan sensed that aura and smiled with interest. After reporting to Supreme Pontiff Bibi Dong and leaving arrangements to ghost Douluo, he alone followed the trace. In the forest, Yuguan descended lightly and, seeing Dugu Bo's back, called out teasingly, "How interesting. You, old poison, actually came to Spirit City to look for me. Are you tired of living too long?" Dugu Bo turned. He had never looked so self-assured. He chuckled and said, "My strength has improved. I came to spar with you and see how far I've come." Yuguan stared. Dugu Bo appeared younger. His usual cold, sinister edge had softened and been replaced by a deep, rich earth attribute aura. Recognition widened Yuguan's eyes. "You ate the earth dragon golden gourd." Dugu Bo raised an eyebrow, and Yuguan continued, "You really refined it. No more talk. Come taste my poison now that your spirit power has increased." At once, Dugu Bo activated his spirit possession. A ghastly green mist of poison swirled around him, and 9 spirit rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black, rotated on his body, releasing a crushing pressure that thickened the air. Yuguan's expression hardened. He knew immortal herbs well. Although the earth dragon golden gourd was not a plant in the ordinary sense, as an immortal herb, its earth dragon power to upheave the ground was infamous. He dared not underestimate Dugu Bo. Yuguan called on his own spirit. The assembled heavenly chrysanthemum materialized in his hand, and his 9 spirit rings, the same optimal combination of 2 yellow, 2 purple, 5 black, flared to life. The 2 titled Douluo's auras collided. Animals and spirit beasts within 1,000 meters trembled, many collapsing or fleeing. Their spirit rings flashed in ceaseless bursts. Under their activation, both Douluo's spirit abilities became devastating forces. Each clash sounded like a natural disaster. Trees and plants were shredded in an instant. The more they fought, the more concerned Yuguan became. Dugubo's improvement was staggering. Not only was his spirit power not inferior to Yueguan's, his mobilization speed and recovery had actually increased beyond Yueguan's. In a straight fight, Dugubo had the advantage. Once Yueguan's spirit power ran low, the outcome would be inevitable. Dugubo, though, was exhilarated. He had always been the inferior one against Yueguan before. Now he dominated. His jade phosphor serpent, fully evolved and restored to peak condition by Wang Li, had been further strengthened by the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd's deep earth attribute. With the Danju core and the vortex surface, his spirit mobilization and recovery were several times faster than before. Seventh spirit ability, Martial Soul True Body. Yueguan could not hold back and unleashed it. The indestructible nature of the assembled heavenly chrysanthemum was Yueguan's bedrock. Martial Soul True Body let him push that indestructibility to its limits. Dugubo only laughed and answered in kind. Seventh spirit ability, Martial Soul True Body. A jade serpent dozens of meters long appeared in the sky. Its thick, powerful tail lashed out and smashed into the assembled heavenly chrysanthemum form Yueguan had taken, sending the chrysanthemum and its user crashing to the ground. The chrysanthemum's indestructibility was real, but Dugubo, empowered by the Earth Dragon Golden Gourd and with newfound frontal strength, slammed him again and again. The serpent's tail struck over and over, pounding Yueguan into the earth. The ground itself seemed to press down. Yueguan felt as if the earth were suffocating him. Impossible. He could not be suppressed like this. Disbelief churned in Yueguan's heart, but the reality was undeniable. If this continued, he would lose. He needed to break free if he hoped to escape. At that moment, Bibi Dong, worried about Yueguan's absence, had sent Ghost Douluo to investigate. Ghost Douluo arrived and immediately realized the truth. Dugubo was the one pressing Yueguan. Alarmed, Ghost Douluo stepped forward to assist and summoned his spirit. His aura, the same pattern of 9 spirit rings, exploded outward, vast, cold, and terrifying. Seeing this, Dugubo decided not to press the matter. He had not come to kill Yueguan. He broke off the fight, rose into the sky, and his voice echoed over the forest, playful and triumphant. Hey, Chrysanthemum Pass! I win this time! 114, the last level to be promoted to Emperor Ghost. Douluo touched down and stared toward the direction Dugubo had gone. Black mist swirled around him, obscuring his expression, but his voice was heavy with disbelief. How did Dugubo get so strong? Behind him, Yueguan crawled out of the ground. Thanks to the indestructible effect of the assembled heavenly chrysanthemum, his wounds weren't fatal, but his spirit power had been reduced by more than half. He looked a sorry sight, dust coating him, as he too stared where Dugubo had vanished. In a deep, solemn tone, he said, I have some guesses. Let's return to Spirit City and report to your grace, the Supreme Pontiff. I'll explain there. The two left immediately. In Spirit City's Supreme Pontiff Palace, Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo bowed before Supreme Pontiff Bibi Dong. Chrysanthemum Douluo reported the battle. Your Grace, if my fight with Dugubo had continued, I would have lost. If it had been to the death, I would have died. I detected the aura of an Earth Dragon Golden Gourd on him, an immortal herb that channels Earth Dragon power and makes the ground upheave. He must have consumed it. His spirit power has increased dramatically, and even the frontal combat capability of his jade phosphor serpent has become terrifying. Bibi Dong, crowned, holding a scepter, draped in a golden gown, frowned delicately, troubled. Dugubo had always been feared for his area of effect attacks, but his personal combat strength had been among the weakest of the titled Douluo. 1 or 2 titled Douluo could usually restrain him, even force him to flee. Now, after taking some Earth Dragon Golden Gourd, he had been able to suppress and even kill Yueguan, a titled Douluo of the 95th level. That meant Dugubo had become far more dangerous. Ordinary titled Douluo would no longer be a match. Even some of the powerful ones might not be able to kill him. If he escaped and sought revenge, he could slaughter spirit halls across the continent in a very short time. Among the forces under Bibi Dong's command, besides herself, perhaps only Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo together, using their Wuhan fusion skill, could control Dugubo. But they could not act immediately, and Dugubo, knowing them as he did, would not wait passively for that fusion. Bibi Dong's voice went clear and cold. It seems your Grace Belin still has a sense of propriety. Coming to Spirit City, he only revealed his aura and caused no disturbance. So, issue an order. From now on, all Spirit Hall ranks shall show him deference. No one is to offend or provoke your Grace Belin. Chrysanthemum Douluo, Yuguan, Ghost Douluo, and Guimei felt their hearts sink, but answered respectfully, "As you command," and left. Once they were gone, Bibi Dong's eyes regained their calm. Dugubo's sudden surge in strength, though unexpected, was only temporary. There had been many years of turmoil, but once she fully accepted the inheritance, there would be no rival left on the continent. Whether emperors, the seven great sects, family powers, or independent spirit masters, those who did not submit would be killed. Dugubo would be no exception. Submit and live, resist and die. On the other side, Dugubo was in high spirits. He had defeated Yuaguan in a head-on clash. An immortal-grade spirit could not withstand him. He shook his head with a rueful smile. It's a pity such a joyful moment has no one to share it with. Yan Yan and Xiao Li, I don't know where they wandered off to or when they'll return. Never mind. I'll go back to Heavendo Empire. There's students at Heavendo Royal Academy. They'll take part in the Grand Soul Master Tournament. They should be back by then. Meanwhile, Wang Li and Du Guyan were in the Shiling Mountain range of Fosanuo Province. After leaving Sunset Forest, they had crisscrossed Heavendo Empire, east then west, traversing mountains, forests, and grasslands, visiting the Icebound Forest to the north and various hunting soul forests. Today they had reached a valley ringed by peaks. Wang Li studied his spirit as it now stood undisguised, thick and tall, crystal clear, with two red and blue patterns within, and radiating wavering golden halos on the outside. Those golden halos appeared once his blue-silver affinity rose above 50%. He looked up at the distant sky, his gaze long and thoughtful. So, once my blue-silver affinity exceeds 50% and more than half the blue-silver grass recognizes me, I can evolve the blue-silver king into a blue-silver emperor by accumulating energy, he mused. But I'm not the only one eligible. The previous blue-silver emperor's coffin lid hasn't fully closed. In the blue-silver forest, there's still an 85,000-year-old blue-silver king with deep reserves. If I tried to evolve into an emperor now, the blue-silver emperor probably couldn't stop me, but the blue-silver king could, if he wished, command his subordinates and use all the blue-silver grass in the forest to obstruct my awakening. When Tang San awakened his blue-silver emperor, that blue-silver king not only tolerated it, he actively used the entire forest's blue-silver grass to help Tang San awaken. Outrageous. He had the throne but didn't claim it himself, and instead helped Tang San. That king is inexplicably loyal. That was Wang Li's dilemma. The chance to evolve into an emperor was within reach, but one final obstacle remained. The struggle for the throne would not be easy. After much thought, he narrowed his options to two paths. First, I've already traversed most of Heaven-Do Empire. If I finish the Star Luo Empire and raise my blue-silver affinity to over 70%, or even over 90%, no outside power would be able to interfere with me. Second, eliminate all other claimants. Tang Hao guards the blue-silver emperor, making it hard to seize directly, and the current blue-silver emperor's consciousness hasn't fully recovered, so that's less of a problem for now. But the blue-silver king, only by truly removing it can my path to becoming an emperor be clear. Otherwise, an 85,000-year-old king plus the whole blue-silver forest is an unavoidable obstacle. As for Tang San, he's already gone his own way. If it weren't for the blue-silver king's intervention, using all the blue-silver grass to aid him, he never would have awakened in this lifetime. The most legitimate blue-silver emperor bloodline still needs the blue-silver king's help to awaken. There's actually not much more to say about the protagonist this year, just the condensation of his origins. There were a few kisses and embraces with Du Guyan, but the current review prevents me from writing about those. 115. Come back. Return to Tiando. Wang Li paused, weighing the thought, then shook his head slightly. I might dare take on a 50,000-year spirit beast, but an 85,000-year one? Many titled Douluo only hunt beasts that old to get a 9th soul ring. If I hunt the blue-silver king now, I wouldn't stand a chance, unless I brought Grandpa. And even if I managed to kill it, Absorbing an 85,000-year spirit ring would be almost impossible for me now. It would be a waste. He was level 58. He'd been 54 only a year ago. Gaining 4 levels in 1 year was already remarkable. After all, he was now a spirit king. While condensing his blue-silver affinity, his spirit power, mental force, and life essence had all increased dramatically, which explained his rapid progress. He thought for a moment and made a decision. The All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Competition is about to start. I'll go back and enter first, and use the time to decide which spirit beast to hunt for my 6th ring. If I can get a 6th ring around 50,000 years, then later, when it's time for a 7th, I can try to absorb the Blue-Silver King's 85,000-year ring. My Blue-Silver spirit, absorbing a Blue-Silver King's ring, would be far more compatible with my martial soul's true body. He glanced at Douluo Yan, who was idly playing with the 9-section jade in her hand, and smiled. Yan, let's return to Heaven Do City tomorrow. We can visit Grandpa and enter the competition. With our strength, it should be easy. Though they'd been on the move together, Douluo Yan's progress had also been rapid. A year ago, she was level 53. Now she was level 57. Consuming various potent poisons had pushed her spirit power up as well. She stretched, smiled, and agreed. All right. It's been a year. I miss Grandpa too. But before we go back, shouldn't we clean up a bit? She glanced at her hair. Constant traveling had grown her neatly cut short hair down to her waist. Wang Li's once messy, medium-length hair had also lengthened and draped behind him. Wang Li nodded. The nearest city is Feints. Let's get out of the mountains and reach the city before sunset. We can rest well tonight and leave for Heaven Do City tomorrow morning. Douluo Yan readily agreed. Wang Li activated his blue-silver domain, found the quickest route out of the Shilling range, and at the speed of 2 spirit kings, they soon left the mountains. Before dark, they arrived at Feints City, the provincial capital and the largest city in the area. Even at night, the city was brilliantly lit and teeming with life. They got haircuts, bought new clothes, and restored their looks from a year ago. They visited the snack street and ate until late. They found a hotel, bathed, and slept in each other's arms. The next morning, they set out for Heaven Do City by rented carriage, taking the main road. 20 days later, the sprawling metropolis of Heaven Do appeared on the horizon. Their last visit had been nearly 2 years ago, back when they'd been threatened by Solace, and they had not returned since. Coming back now felt emotional. In these nearly 2 years, both of them had made tremendous progress. Wang Li from level 41 to 58, Douluo Yan from 38 to 57. Almost 20 levels in 2 years sounded unbelievable. Wang Li laid out a plan. First, let's gather information in the city. I don't know if Grandpa has come out of seclusion yet. We'll tour around, visit the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well, and then go to Heaven Do Royal Academy. Douluo Yan nodded. We can go home and check. If Grandpa's finished his seclusion, he might be waiting. She proved right. As soon as they returned to the Douluo family mansion, they saw several luxurious carriages and armored guards outside. Imperial emblems on the carriages left no doubt that someone from the Tiando imperial family was present. Curious, Wang Li and Douluo Yan walked straight in. In the main hall, Douluo Bo sat in the principal seat, calmly sipping clear tea. "Prince, you needn't send gifts every day," he said with a measured smile. Since this old man accepted the sum and promised to attend the opening ceremony of the Grand Soul Master Tournament's Heaven Do City sub-district in 3 months, I won't go back on my word. Be at ease. Beside him sat a well-dressed, dignified man, Prince Shui Xing, younger brother of Emperor Shuiye. Shui Xing had shown Douluo Bo much courtesy, and Douluo Bo found it hard to refuse his repeated visits. Shui Xing's appearances had a reason. As a prince of the Heaven Do Empire, he was an influential figure. Although the duel between Douluo Bo and Yu Guan hadn't been widely publicized, everyone could sense Spirit Hall's changed attitude toward Douluo Bo afterward. It was clear Douluo Bo's strength had increased to the point that Spirit Hall treated him with 3 parts of respect. The visits were part of a broader effort by the imperial family to cultivate better relations with Douluo Bo. "Your Excellency," Shui Xing said earnestly, "my visits are for you, and for your granddaughter and grandson-in-law. They are key members of the Heaven Do Royal First Team, yet they still haven't returned. With the Grand Soul Master Tournament only months away, there's concern. Dugubo admitted he was worried too. Wang Li and Dugu Yan had said they'd return in about a year when they left. The time had come with no sign. He replied, "Don't worry, Yan Yan and Xiao Li certainly won't miss the Grand Soul Master Tournament." At that moment, a guard entered and saluted. "Prince, Your Excellency, your granddaughter and grandson-in-law have returned and are already inside the mansion." Dugubo's face lit up. He looked at Shuixing and said, "I told you, they wouldn't miss it. Have them come over at once." Heaven Du City, Dugu family. Wang Li and Dugu Yan entered the room. Dugu Yan ran straight to Dugubo, acting like a spoiled child. "Grandpa, we're back!" Wang Li was less demonstrative. He glanced politely at Prince Shuixing on the way in, then smiled and said, "Grandpa, I hope we didn't disturb you. We just came in." Dugubo's face lit up. He looked from Dugu Yan to Wang Li, and when he saw them both safe and well, all his worries vanished. He ruffled Dugu Yan's hair indulgently and chided, "You still remember how to return. You said you'd be gone about a year. Look how long it's been." He then introduced Prince Shuixing. "This is Prince Shuixing, Emperor Shuiye's younger brother. He's the imperial family's representative at Heaven Do Royal Academy and has been coming to our house every day looking for you." On hearing that, Shuixing straightened proudly, putting on an air of imperial dignity. He knew Dugu Yan and had met her before. Wang Li he had only heard of. An exceptional prodigy, a four-ring spirit ancestor at 12. His brother, the Emperor, had even personally sent the Crown Prince to try to recruit him, and Spirit Hall's Platinum Bishop Salas had used both threats and promises. While others were still scrambling to win them over, Shuixing had already cultivated a relationship with Dugu Bo, which gave him an advantage. He smiled and turned to them. "It's good you're back. Even with Tianheng's return, the Heaven Do Royal First Team only has 6 members. The second team's talent can't compare, so we can't just promote someone from them at random. Now that Your Excellency's granddaughter and grandson-in-law have returned, we can finalize the roster and submit it. The Heaven Do Royal First Team will go straight to the finals. You won't need to fight in the preliminaries or elimination rounds, so you can conserve your energy. You'll still need to attend the opening ceremony in 3 months. His Majesty will be there. For the other matches, you can either come and study your opponents or skip them and focus on cultivation." Shuixing rattled off the important details about the Grand Soul Master Tournament and the special privileges for the first team. Wang Li and Dugu Yan, as members of that team, would only need to appear at the opening ceremony and then wait for the finals. Wang Li nodded. "Grandpa, Prince Shuixing, we were delayed on the way back. Yan Yan Jie and I plan to see Grandpa first, then report to Heaven Do Royal Academy. We'd like to spend today with Grandpa and report tomorrow." Shuixing readily agreed, then asked, curious and practical, "May I ask what your spirit power is now? It'll help with the arrangements." Wang Li glanced at Dugu Bo, who gave a small nod. Wang Li answered plainly, "Spirit King. Yan Yan Jie and I are both Spirit Kings. This championship will definitely belong to Heaven Do." Shuixing's eyes widened in shock and then filled with excitement. He knew Spirit Hall had 3 Spirit King geniuses this time, the Golden Generation, each with a purple record medal. If Spirit Hall had 3 Spirit Kings and Heaven Do had 2, the competition would be fierce, but still winnable. He laughed in admiration. "Your Excellency truly is extraordinary to have raised 2 such brilliant geniuses. The Heaven Do Empire is fortunate. I'll go report this to His Majesty right away." He continued with courteously rehearsed lines, intending to both highlight his role in the matter to the Emperor and to secure imperial funds to court Dugu Bo, Dugu Yan, and Wang Li for his own advantage. After some more small talk, he left. Once Shuixing departed and the room was private, Dugu Yan looped her arm through Dugu Bo's and cooed, "Grandpa, we missed you so much. When did you come out of seclusion? Xiao Li and I were saying that if we couldn't find you at home, we'd go to the ice and fire yin-yang. Well, to look for you." Dugu Bo beamed. "I only just finished a year of cultivation, broke through and stabilized my 95th level spirit power. Then I went to Spirit Hall and had a fight with Chrysanthemum Douluo." His eyebrows danced with excitement. In the past, he'd always been the one on the receiving end when clashing with Yue Guan, but now he'd finally gotten the upper hand. He was disappointed no one had been there to share it, so he went on, animated. Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo of Spirit Hall have always been at odds with me, but both are titled Douluo. I couldn't handle them by myself before. That was modest. He had in fact suffered rather than merely been unable to match them. He continued, this time, Chrysanthemum Douluo couldn't stand against me one-on-one. By the time Ghost Douluo arrived, Chrysanthemum had already been slammed to the ground by me and couldn't be pulled away. Because I was wary of them being two, I didn't keep pressing the attack. After that, I came back to Heaven-Do City to wait for your return. Hearing this, Wang Li understood Douluo's current strength more clearly. He offered congratulations, then raised a concern. Congratulations, Grandpa. I was worried about Spirit Hall. After we beat their golden generation, will they retaliate against Yan Yanji and me? Douluo's expression turned serious. He looked at Wang Li, then at Douluo and said in a solemn tone, you two can fight with confidence. This time, Grandpa will be with you every step of the way. Let's see who dares to lay a hand on my granddaughter and grandson-in-law. The Grand Soul Master Tournament is the perfect stage to show the younger generation's top talents, he went on. You're at your best now. Go enjoy the glory that comes from victory, win honor, and be admired. As for anyone who causes trouble, so long as Grandpa's around, Douluo has no taboos. I won't hesitate to let the world know what cruelty looks like. With a grandfather like Douluo watching over them, anyone thinking of harming Douluo or Wang Li would have to think twice. That day, the three of them, reunited after a long time, ate together. Douluo shared the insights he'd gained about condensing spirit power during his year of cultivation, and Douluo and Wang Li spoke about their own gains and changes in strength. Chapter 117, 8 People Gathered Together. The next day, Wang Li and Douluo said their goodbyes to Douluo and left for Heaven-Do Royal Academy. The academy was close to Heaven-Do City, so no escort was necessary, and the staff didn't stop them once they revealed who they were. They declined the offer of guides and climbed the academy's back mountain to their old campus on their own. The staff, however, were shrewd and immediately reported their arrival to the academy's 3 senior teachers, Meng Shenji, Bai Baoshan, and Ji Lin. The sudden appearance of Wang Li and Douluo on the back mountain surprised Qin Ming, Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yu Feng, Shimo, and Ye Lingling. Wang Li looked straight at Qin Ming. Seeing Qin Ming still at Heaven-Do Royal Academy meant he hadn't returned to Shrek. He was still here. Smiling, Wang Li greeted them. Teacher Qin, everyone, Yan Yan and I are back. Douluo greeted them as well. Qin Ming let out a long breath of relief. Good to have you back. With you two on the squad, the main team can go straight into the finals. We still have time for the final preparations. Just then, Yu Tianheng, face full of confident pride, spoke up. Wang Li, Douluo, after I returned to my sect, I worked hard in seclusion. I broke through to spirit power level 40, absorbed a spirit ring, and became a spirit ancestor. I'm now at level 45. What about you two? We'll be fighting side by side soon. We should know what we're up against. He wasn't the only one wondering. Qin Ming and the others wanted to know as well. Wang Li and Douluo exchanged a look, and Wang Li answered. Senior, when you returned to the sect, you might not have heard, but Yan Yan and I met Platinum Bishop Salas of Spirit Hall in Heaven-Do City. The pressure he put on us is something we won't ever forget. Yu Tianheng had already heard about that encounter, but what came next surprised him. Wang Li continued, We suffered badly after that. Both of us advanced to Spirit King, but even so, in front of a Spirit Douluo, a Spirit King is still very weak. The words hit everyone like a blow. Spirit King? Could they really have risen that far just by training? Yu Tianheng's face drained of color. All his hard work suddenly felt insignificant. Seeing him like that, Wang Li tried to console him. Yu Tianheng had indeed trained hard and had improved since the last Grand Soul Master Tournament. Senior, you've been cultivating diligently, and so have we, Wang Li said. Don't be too hard on yourself. Spirit King isn't the end of the road. We haven't reached the finish line yet. Whether it was the comfort or just time to process, Yu Tianheng's features softened, though he fell into a pensive silence. Wang Li left it at that. A little encouragement was enough. Qin Ming cleared his throat. Wang Li and Dugu Yan reaching this level must be because of their grueling training after being taken under Dugu Bo's care. With two spirit kings, Wang Li and Dugu Yan, and the rest of us as spirit ancestors, we're already solid contenders. 2 spirit kings and 6 spirit ancestors should at least secure second place, and we have a shot at first. He grew more serious. The only team that can challenge us is the Spirit Hall team. From what we've gathered, they have 3 spirit kings, the so-called Golden Generation, and the rest are spirit ancestors above level 45. We don't yet know their spirits or abilities. They're our biggest threat. We need to plan accordingly. Wang Li listened, then let his gaze sweep over the others. He chuckled. Teacher Qin, it doesn't have to be so complicated. Yan Yan and I will handle their 3 spirit kings. The rest of you on the field can take care of their spirit ancestors. Right, Yan Yan? Dugu Yan nodded, matter of fact. My 4th spirit ability can deprive an opponent of their 5 senses. If the poisonous smoke covers the whole arena, with my current spirit power, even 3 spirit kings, let alone 7, would be blind and deaf. So don't worry too much. We can win this championship easily. Her casual certainty stunned Qin Ming, Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yu Feng, Shi Mo, and Ye Lingling. They stared at Dugu Yan, shocked. Had she spent too much time around Wang Li? How could she speak so nonchalantly about something that decisive? Qin Ming felt a mix of admiration and frustration. Wang Li and Dugu Yan's power made the team leader's role feel almost redundant. Training and coordination seemed small compared to sheer strength. Still, he shook his head and smiled wryly. Wang Li, Dugu Yan, don't be careless. Spirit Hall's 3 spirit kings earned the title Golden Generation for a reason. We need to deal with them carefully. He paused, eyes complex. Your progress is astonishing. Even my junior brothers and sisters can't compare. You met some of them already. The soul hunting group you ran into near the Star Do Great Forest. Tang San and Xiao Wu, your classmates from the Primary Spirit Master Academy, are among them. They came to Heaven Do City and joined Blue Tyrant Academy, which later became Shrek Academy. Next time you have free time, go see them. You were classmates in the Primary Spirit Master Academy. It would be good to exchange cultivation experiences and spirit knowledge. Wang Li raised an eyebrow. It sounded like the teachers and students from Shrek had indeed come to Heaven Do City and gone straight to Blue Tyrant Academy. All right, he said with a smile. When I have the time, I'll go visit. Tang San and Xiao Wu are my good friends after all. Qin Ming smiled in return. With Wang Li's strength, any guidance he offered to his juniors would keep them from taking many wrong turns in cultivation. The group settled into planning and preparation, the air full of quiet resolve. 8 people had gathered together again, stronger and more determined than before. 118. The purpose is achieved. At that moment, Teacher Qin spoke again. 2 spirit kings and 6 spirit ancestors. Our Heaven Do Royal team already qualifies to contend for the championship. Our only real opponent is the Spirit Hall team. Wang Li and Dugu Yan are both spirit kings, but you 2 have been away for a long time. Let's do a simple sparring session first, so everyone can get reacquainted. He paused a moment, then added, Wang Li, Dugu Yan, you 2 will fight Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yu Feng, Shimo, and Ye Lingling. This will let everyone see your strength and learn to cooperate better for future competitions. One rule, don't use your 5th spirit ability during the fight. After the battle, you may demonstrate it individually. Teacher Qin meant for the match to be a mutual test. If a 5th spirit ability ended the fight instantly, the exercise would be pointless. Yu Tianheng disagreed loudly. Teacher Qin, I know they're spirit kings, but we've got 6 spirit ancestors. Banning their 5th spirit abilities isn't fair, he protested. Besides, I want to experience a spirit king's 5th spirit ability. Let them fight freely. Oslo, Yu Feng, the 2 Shimos, and Ye Lingling all shot desperate looks at Yu Tianheng. They'd once fought Wang Li for 3 months and been utterly crushed. Now that Wang Li had broken through to Spirit King, if he could still use his 5th spirit ability, there'd be no point even fighting. They might as well surrender. Teacher Qin's face tightened, but after thinking he relented toward Yu Tianheng's plan. Fine, go all out. But Wang Li and Dugu Yan, don't use your 5th spirit ability at the very start. Both Wang Li and Dugu Yan nodded. In truth, the two of them could likely sweep the all-continent Advanced Soul Master competition on their own, but this was a team event requiring at least 7 people. They needed to see how well everyone could cooperate. Teacher Chin said, "Disperse and prepare." Yu Tianheng was eager. He wanted to give everything, even knowing they'd probably lose, just to prove himself. Oslo Yufeng and the others exchanged glances and sighed. They still had some confidence if Wang Li and Duguyan held back their fifth abilities, but none if those powers were unleashed. Everyone took their positions. Wang Li and Duguyan on one side, Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yufeng, the two Shimos, and Ye Lingling on the other. When they were ready, Teacher Chin shouted, "Summon your spirits! Battle begin!" On Yu Tianheng's side, the 6 of them summoned their spirits. Spirit rings appeared, 2 yellow and 2 purple each, showing full spirit ancestor rank. Around Wang Li, the blue-silver grass sprouted at first as a disguise. If revealed, it would have been the towering, crystal-clear blue-silver king, its 2 inner red and blue patterns and outer golden halo glaring. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 5 spirit rings flashed into being. The final black ring came from the 28,000-year-old dream illusion flower demon, and the oppressive pressure it gave off was palpable. Dugu Yan's spirit possessed her, turning her into a half-human, half-snake form. A long snake tail, emerald scales like overlapping armor, and crystalline dragon horns crowning her forehead. Her spirit rings read yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black as well. Her final black ring was beyond the usual limit, boosted by the yearning, heartbroken red and crystal blood dragon ginseng to 18,000 years. The sight of 2 black spirit rings was overwhelming. Still, Yu Tianheng barked, "Attack!" He led the charge with Oslo on his left and Yufeng on his right. Wang Li made a small gesture and used his first spirit ability. Blue-silver vines erupted, covering the ground and sky and sweeping toward the 3 attackers. They were trapped, unable to advance or retreat. The toughness of the blue-silver king's spirit held them fast. They could not break free. Duguyan stepped forward and unleashed her 4th spirit ability, the Bilin Bewitching Array. Purple poisonous smoke billowed out and coalesced into a poisonous formation that enveloped Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yufeng, the 2 Shimos, and Ye Lingling. Even those who hadn't joined the initial assault were caught. In an instant, it felt as if they had been cut off from the entire world. Sight gone, sound gone. Disconnected from every sense, panic took hold. Rather than using his explosive 3rd spirit ability, Wang Li employed his 4th, an ability that absorbs spirit power. With the blue-silver vines holding them and Duguyan's array blinding them, their spirit power was siphoned away. In moments, their spirit power was completely drained. The battle ended then and there. Wang Li called out, "Teacher Chin, my 5th spirit ability is a control-type hypnotic illusion. Yan Yan Jie's 5th spirit ability is a defensive energy absorption. There's no need to demonstrate them." Teacher Chin was speechless. It wasn't that Yu Tianheng and his teammates were weak. Wang Li and Duguyan were simply too strong. Duguyan's 4th ability alone had been catastrophic. Losing all 5 senses instantly is lethal in any fight. At that moment, voices came from a distance. "Good, good, good. In just a few minutes, you defeated Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yufeng, Shimo, and Ye Lingling. Your Grace Bilin, this is astonishing. You've cultivated 2 young spirit kings, and their strength is terrifying." Meng Shenji, Bai Baoshan, and Jilin approached with complex expressions. The display of power from Wang Li and Duguyan filled them with awe. Teacher Chin bowed respectfully. Teacher Meng Shenji, Teacher Bai Baoshan, Teacher Jilin. Wang Li and Duguyan also greeted them. After a brief pause, Wang Li said, "3 teachers, I have something to tell you. Yan Yan Jie and I only returned to report today. From now until the Grand Soul Master Tournament, we won't be coming back here often. It's rare for Grandpa to be out of seclusion, so Yan Yan Jie and I want to stay at home with Grandpa. We hope you'll approve." Given their level, further routine training here would be pointless. It made more sense for them to spend time with Dugu Bo. The 3 teachers exchanged looks, then glanced at Teacher Chin. He hesitated. His role as team leader suddenly felt less necessary, but in the end, he nodded. "All right, with your strength, Yu Tianheng, Oslo, Yufeng, Shimo, and Ye Lingling won't be able to coordinate as well with you. I'll increase their spirit power training so they can ideally gain 1 or 2 levels before the competition." Wang Li and Dugu Yan smiled. Their purpose had been achieved. Thanks to fellow readers, She is Together for 500 Chidian coins and Mom TV for 31 Chidian coins for the rewards. 119. Shrek of Tiando City, 2 chapters in 1. Wang Li and Dugu Yan of Heavendo Royal Academy had gone that morning and returned that afternoon. They came back to report and then could wait in peace for the competition to start. After returning, Wang Li couldn't stop thinking. Shrek Academy reopened in Heavendo City, and Tong San and Xiao Wu came too. That's a perfect chance to say hello, he mused. And my supposedly useless spirit bone ability, Illusion Dream, might still be of use. What exactly is written in that mysterious Heaven treasure record? If I can get my hands on it, it could be priceless. He paced mentally through the risks. But if Tang San is always on guard against me, I won't get anywhere. I need to find an opportunity to render him unable to resist, then quietly sift through his memories bit by bit. I can't act openly, so I'll have to work indirectly. Let me think. During the Grand Soul Master Tournament, Kanghui Academy, Shi Nian, they could be useful. He settled on a plan. He had once dismissed Illusion Dream because it required overwhelming mental force and couldn't boost attacks or overturn fights between strong and weak. But now things were different. He'd used Penetrating Autumn Water Dew and had a mental attribute Spirit Ring and a mental attribute Spirit Bone. His mental force was certainly higher than Tong San's. Without outside interference, he could probe Tong San's memories over time. He didn't want to force the issue. What if Tong Hao suddenly turned up? Or Yu Xiaogang, Flender, and Liu Erlong used their Wuhan fusion? It wasn't worth risking a scene for one treasure. Better to be patient, find the right moment, and take the mysterious Heaven treasure record without leaving a trace. That record was key to Tong San becoming a god. Yu Xiaogang's help had been useful, but limited. The record's poisons could also benefit Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan. Wang Li couldn't let it go. The next day he told Dugu Bo and Dugu Yan, Grandpa, Yan Yanjie, some classmates from the Junior Spirit Master Academy have also come to Heavendo City. I'm going to meet them and will be back later. Dugu Yan had heard about it from Qin Ming and smiled. Go early and come back early. If they're really old friends, invite them to visit. Wang Li's face darkened. He wasn't sure Tang San would show, and Xiao Wu certainly wouldn't. What would a 100,000-year transformed spirit beast be doing running about in front of a titled Douluo? He shook his head. I'm just afraid they won't dare to come. Dugu Bo snorted at the mention of reputation. Do you think I'd bully your friends? If they want to come, they can. If not, I won't force them. Not everyone gets to see me. Wang Li didn't explain. The subject was different. He left alone. He had followed Dugu Yan and explored Heavendo City before. The current Shrek Academy was the old Blue Tyrant Academy, so it wasn't hard to find. Standing under the Academy plaque reading Shrek Academy, he couldn't help a wry thought. Flender is really stingy. No wonder the school uniforms are that lousy green, plastered with recruitment ads everywhere. He walked up to the gate. A guard came over to ask, Hello, who are you looking for? It's not enrollment time. If you want to enroll, I can take you to admissions. Wang Li smiled. My name is Wang Li. I'm here to find Tong San and Xiao Wu. Let them know, Teacher Qin Ming sent me. He graduated from this academy. At the mention of Qin Ming, the guard's attitude brightened. The name carried weight here. Please come in. I'll take you to the reception room and report to the academy. The Shrek grounds, though a second-rate academy now, were large and well-equipped. In the reception room, they served Wang Li hot tea as they waited. Outside, Flender hurried toward the academy, accompanied by Liu Erlong and Zhao Wuji. Old Zhao, you met Wang Li before. Recognize him when you see him. Qin Ming said he's your Grace Bilin's grandson-in-law. We must be careful not to offend him, Flender instructed, smoothing his manners. Liu Erlong added, When you weren't in Heavendo, Wang Li was already famous. Even Spirit Hall's Platinum Bishop Solace tried to intimidate and bribe him once. It caused a big stir. Only after intervention by the Crown Prince and the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile School did Spirit Hall send a titled Douluo to pacify things. Flender, ever the businessman, immediately began calculating potential benefits. Inside the reception room, his smile broadened when he saw Wang Li. Welcome, welcome. We've heard of your deeds, truly a genius with limitless potential. I'm Flender, Dean of Shrek Academy. This is Vice Dean Liu Erlong and Teacher Zhao Wuji. Wang Li stood, sizing them up. Flender, the shrewd manager, Liu Erlong, the passionate woman softened by love, and Zhao Wuji, the hot-headed brute. He smiled politely. Dean Flender, Vice Dean Liu Erlong, Teacher Zhao Wuji. My visit is sudden. Qin Ming told me Shrek Academy had moved to Heaven Do, and my junior Spirit Master Academy classmates Tang San and Xiao Wu are here. He invited me to exchange cultivation and spirit experiences, so I came. Flender was delighted. Qin Ming had remembered them. Tang San, Xiao Wu, and their group are training in the forest behind the academy. Come along. Exchanging experiences will help everyone improve. Liu Erlong felt the strength in Wang Li's aura. She couldn't pinpoint his exact power, but could tell he was formidable. What unsettled her more was that she couldn't probe him properly. Some force blocked her. Zhao Wuji, who had been chastened since provoking Tang San and being put down by Tang Hao, kept his temper in check. Dugu Bo's reputation was not something to be trifled with. They escorted Wang Li to the forest. Flender jabbered about Shrek's harsh training and how they sometimes produced excellent students like Qin Ming. Wang Li smiled without much enthusiasm. In his view, Shrek's curriculum leaned heavily on practical combat at the expense of solid theory. Between the lines, he suspected some students who died on spirit hunts hadn't been killed by spirit beasts, but by mistakes in spirit ring absorption. Mistakes Zhao Wuji, with his crude instincts, might have caused. Having someone like him as a teacher could be a disaster. In the training forest, two people were sparring, Dai Mubai and Tang San. Both were four-ring spirit ancestors, each with 2 yellow rings and 2 purple rings. Wang Li wasn't surprised. Dai Mubai was a spirit ancestor, but Tang San being one too left him a little taken aback. He watched closely and frowned. Tang San's spirit wasn't blue-silver grass anymore. Its manifestations were like thorny spider legs, and there was a foul, repellent air about it, like the hated man-faced demon spider from the spirit beast forest. He didn't like it. Flender enthused. Wang Li, under your Grace Bai Lin's guidance, you became a 4-ring spirit ancestor at 12. Our students are good too. Tang San, for example. He only broke through to 40 spirit power when he was almost 14, and he's also a 4-ring spirit ancestor now. His strength is considerable. Wang Li's reply was cool. Of course, back at the Junior Spirit Master Academy, Tang San and Xiao Wu were the brightest talents. At that moment, Yu Xiaogang, who'd been watching, called off the spar and led his group over. The Shrek 7 Devils glimpsed Wang Li and felt a strange familiarity. As they drew closer, recognition clicked. Tang San and Xiao Wu both cried out, "Wang Li, it's me!" Wang Li answered, smiling at Tang San. As they approached, the revulsion from Tang San's spirit manifestation grew stronger in Wang Li's senses. He glanced at Xiao Wu. Instinctively, he saw a rabbit rather than a human. A flash of calculation crossed his eyes. Xiao Wu's 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bone would make a valuable future backup for Duguyan. Xiao Wu's skills, charm, teleportation, paragon golden body, ethereal state, made her invaluable in life-saving situations. Still, he thought Duguyan would be better suited to the Sky Azure Bull Python, Da Ming. He forced himself to restrain his gaze. Yu Xiaogang's face had gone pale when Tang San and Xiao Wu named Wang Li. He had trouble aligning the young man before him with the boy he remembered. Hesitantly, he asked, "Are you really Wang Li?" Wang Li laughed. "Of course it's me, Grandmaster. It's only been 6 or 7 years. Don't you remember? At the Junior Academy, you even looked at my Spirit Hall certificate and pointed me toward the Academic Affairs office." Yu Xiaogang was stunned. The boy he'd written off had become a spirit ancestor by 12, surpassing his own disciple. He looked at Flender, voice tight. "Why wasn't I told? Why bring someone in the middle of training?" Flender explained. Qin Ming asked Wang Li to come to Shrek Academy to exchange cultivation and spirit experiences with Tang San and Xiao Wu, so I invited him. Yu Xiaogang hesitated, torn between his training plans and Tang San's future. For a long beat, he battled internally, then forced an awkward smile. "Wang Li, thank you for coming. I usually handle Little San's training. Before you exchange, could I know your spirit power realm?" Wang Li didn't answer directly. That's inconvenient to reveal. If Shrek Academy participates in the Grand Soul Master Tournament, once we get through preliminaries and eliminations, you'll see at the finals. Heads turned. He continued, Heaven Do first team has a direct pass to the finals. We'll be contending with the Spirit Hall team's golden generation for the championship. The room went quiet. Daimubai bristled. Star Luo first team is very strong. Their captain and vice-captain can even use Wuhan fusion skill. They should be top contenders. Wang Li waved this off with a faint smile. A Wuhan fusion skill used by 2 spirit ancestors is only comparable to a spirit king. It's not that hard to handle. Our real opponents are the 3 spirit kings of the Spirit Hall's golden generation. Everyone froze. To casually call a duo's Wuhan fusion only spirit king level, was Wang Li arrogant or supremely confident? Juju King's eyes widened, her heart thudded. The hell-white tiger her sister had used, and Daimubai's elder brother had used, was being dismissed so lightly. She looked at Wang Li and began to speak, but he put a finger to his lips playfully. Don't say it out loud. Tang San and Xiao Wu are my friends, and you're friends of Tang San and Xiao Wu. That's why I revealed this much. Juju King covered her mouth, chest heaving, clearly shaken. Wang Li's gaze drifted from her back to Tang San and Xiao Wu. He thought, I call you friends, yet you keep guarding against me. That's unreasonable. 120, the human-faced demonic pearl, the 4th soul ring. Yu Xiaogong, Flender, Liu Erlong, and Zhao Wuji stared at Wang Li, incredulity written across their faces. Yu Xiaogong's eyes went wide. He couldn't believe it. Wang Li, who clearly only had an innate spirit power of rank 3, should have been stuck forever between Spirit Grandmaster and Spirit Elder, just like him. How could he possibly be a Spirit King? Flender, Liu Erlong, and Zhao Wuji were equally stunned. Their talents were respectable. They had only managed to push past rank 50 in their late 20s, nearly 30. The Shrek 7 Devils were prodigies who had undergone the Academy's brutal training, yet only Dai Mubai and Tang San had reached Spirit Ancestor. Wang Li, who was about the same age, had cultivated to a level they could barely imagine. Wang Li smiled easily. Don't be so surprised. To get here, I was also trained to death by my grandpa, he said with a casual shrug. Besides, Tang San, he added, turning to the boy, Flender told me it wasn't easy for Shrek Academy to get from Soto City to Heaven Do City under the current circumstances. Still, you reached Spirit Ancestor before 14. You haven't lost your edge. And Xiao Wu, she's not doing too badly either. Tang San clenched his teeth, furious and unwilling. He had poured everything into accelerating his cultivation, even using his 8 spider lances, and yet he still couldn't catch up to Wang Li. Why? With Wang Li's rank 3 innate spirit power and the guidance and resources of a titled Douluo, was that really the deciding factor? Why hadn't he had that? Xiao Wu looked at Wang Li timidly. He carried an old, natural aura that made her feel as if she were back in the Star Do Great Forest, but his gaze seemed to see through her. She felt uneasy, but when Wang Li addressed her, she puffed her chest out, doing her best to be the bold, older sister figure she once was. I'm at rank 38 now, she said brazenly. I'll be rank 40 soon. Wang Li nodded. He knew Xiao Wu had, without an immortal herb, reached rank 40 during the Grand Soul Master Tournament, condensed a spirit ring, and become a spirit ancestor. A transformed spirit beast like her was extremely talented among humans and cultivated quickly. But he also remembered Du Guyan had wanted to keep her from advancing to Spirit Douluo, and before any titled Douluo could interfere, had killed her and had her spirit ring and spirit bone absorbed. He warned softly, then hurry and try to break through before the Grand Soul Master Tournament starts. Once the tournament begins, even the Heaven Do City subdivision will draw Spirit Douluo and titled Douluo watching the matches in person. The main division in Spirit City will have many titled Douluo gathered, he continued. If you can attract their attention, your future could be limitless. Xiao Wu's face drained of color, and her rabbit ears drooped. If a titled Douluo noticed her, she'd be a dead rabbit, not have any limitless future at all. Fortunately, Wang Li's words kept everyone's attention on the conversation, so no one had noticed her stiff reaction. Wang Li then said, Let's officially introduce ourselves. I'm Wang Li. My spirit is mutated blue-silver grass. As for my spirit power, you all know it. He glanced around. And you, introduce yourselves. I need to know who I'm dealing with. Among the Shrek 7 Devils, only Tang San and Xiao Wu had given themselves away so far. The other 5 exchanged looks, realizing they had not formally introduced themselves. Dai Mubai stepped forward, glaring at Wang Li. Though resentful, he admitted the truth. Dai Mubai, Spirit White Tiger, rank 42 Spirit Ancestor. Oscar followed next, his look memorable despite his tidy appearance. Oscar, Spirit Sausage, rank 35 Spirit Elder. Mahongjin went third, his burly frame and big ears impossible to miss. Mahongjin, Spirit Evil Fire Phoenix, rank 34 Spirit Elder. Juju King was fourth, her voice cool and composed. Juju Qing, Spirit Hell Civet, rank 34 Spirit Elder. Ningrongrong came last, bright and lively. Ningrongrong, Spirit 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, rank 33 Spirit Elder. Wang Li's curiosity flared at the last introduction. Ningrongrong, 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, are you from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School? Proudly she answered, the current sect master is my father. Wang Li's expression shifted as he took that in. Originally, a team with 2 Spirit Ancestors and 5 Spirit Elders would be only a second-rate team, not first-rate, he observed. With the backing of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, though, perhaps you'll have a chance to get through the preliminaries. In the upcoming Grand Soul Master Tournament, 6 first-rate teams, including our Heaven Dew first team, go straight to the finals. The other 5 first-rate teams, from the 5-Element Academy, Elephant Armor Academy, Blazing Academy, Godwind Academy, Thunderclap Academy, and Tianshui Academy, are seasoned forces, each boasting at least 3 Spirit Ancestors and 4 Spirit Elders. If you want to qualify, you'll have to replace one of them. Wang Li sounded genuinely thoughtful about the Shrek 7 Devils prospects. He was grateful to Qin Ming for giving him an identity to approach the team, an opportunity that would help him keep a closer eye on Xi Nian and any moves she might make. The others listened intently, the mood turned serious. Yu Xiaogang looked unconvinced. His team had been rated only second-rate by Wang Li, and he had no real rebuttal. The spirit power ranks were plain. Oscar, however, tried to raise morale. Not just Rongrong's pagoda, he said. My sausage spirit is a huge help too. With the 2 of us supporting the team, everyone's combat power and endurance can be doubled. Qualifying shouldn't be a problem. Wang Li smiled faintly. I hope you're right. The other academies have pushed single attributes to extremes. If you want to qualify, decide which academy you can most likely defeat through focused preparation. Also, Tangsan, he fixed Tangsan with a look of curiosity. Has your spirit mutated as well? Your blue-silver grass doesn't look like ordinary blue-silver grass now. Tell me about the spirit beasts behind your 4 spirit rings. Tangsan fell silent for a moment. He had started with an ordinary blue-silver grass and never expected it to mutate through absorbing spirit rings. He finally answered, voice steady despite his swirling emotions. The first spirit ring came from a 400-year-old datura snake, the second from a 600-year-old ghost vine, the third from a 2,000-year-old man-faced demon spider. The fourth, from that purple ring, came from a 6,000-year-old man-faced demon spider.